right up the racetrack, and here they come for the white flag. One more lap to go, and Allison has a slight advantage on Jarrett as they head for turn number 1.
But remember, Dale's been going well on the inside. Does he have the right line, though, Bob?
Davey Allison keeps his car in the middle of the racetrack. Dale Jarrett's car is on the low side. Off the 18 degrees of banking, they go down on 5 degrees of banking, and Dale Jarrett wiggles a little bit as they come out of the second corner. They bump, they touch, they rub, going down the backstretch, side by side, wheel to wheel. Who is it going to be in the Champions Park Plug 400? Jarrett has the slight advantage as they go into the third and fourth corners. Davey Allison battles back on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the triangle at the line. Who wins it? I believe Jarrett. Oh, wow.
He knows it, doesn't he? Oh, wow.
Dale Jarrett won it, but it was a photo finish. He didn't win by more than 4 or 5 inches. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to Michigan International. Certainly one of the favorites going into today's event is Davey Allison. He battled with Dale Jarrett to the closest finish in modern history last year at this time, with Jarrett winning by about 6 inches. But Davey Allison won going away here in June. But he has a lot of adversity and a lot of things on his mind today as he takes the green flag for this event. With more on that, here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob. As if overcoming the pain of physical injury weren't enough, today Davey Allison must bear the emotional burden of a devastating loss. 4 days ago, his younger brother Clifford lost his life in a practice accident here at Michigan. But for the next 3 hours, Davey must put aside the hurt and concentrate on the task at hand. Davey knows that's what Clifford would have wanted. If you are among those who are watching who believe that race drivers are not athletes, I challenge you to find another individual who must overcome the physical and emotional adversity that faces one Davey Allison today. Where does he get his strength? He told me it comes from the plaque that hangs over his office wall that he sees every day when he goes to work. And the plaque reads, "There isn't anything that can happen today that me and the Lord can't handle."
And we're ready for the command to start engines. And for that, the Rookie of the Year at the Indianapolis 500 this year, the Grand Marshal.
Start your engine!
Those words from Lynn St. James, the 41-car field fires to life, all set for 200 laps, 400 miles of competition in the fastest field in history here at Michigan.
The Winston Cup cars are incredibly fast this time at the Michigan International Speedway. And they had 16 cars broke the track record.
Over 178 miles an hour, Benny, which means that they're running well over 190 miles an hour on the straightaway. There are a number of reasons why they picked up speed this time. One is the racing surface has been improved. The Indy cars ran here last month, and of course the winters are pretty harsh on the pavement here, so the officials had to go in, do a lot of work on the pavement, but it made it a lot smoother, made the cars a lot faster.
And the race cars are faster because NASCAR has mandated that the cars have a side window in the right side. That's making the car more aerodynamic. Another thing, the drivers have found that maybe a short track car works a little bit better here than a super speedway car.
And that's a little surprising, too, at the speeds they run here. But the fact that the turns are so long and the banking is only 18 degrees, I can see where a short track car would work well.
Well, our pole sitter, John Kernan, has he got a short track car or a long track car?
Well, Benny, Alan Kulwicki has got a super speedway car. That's what he told me just a few moments ago. You know, Mark Martin, who's starting on the outside of row 1, and Kulwicki, has staged some amazing battles for the pole in the past couple of years, and this has got to be the best one. Kulwicki winning the pole by only 1/1000th of a second. That's faster than you can snap your fingers. And speaking of Kulwicki, he could become the man to beat for the Winston Cup. He stands third right now, 94 points out of first place. And he's coming up on a stretch of races, Bob, that he always does very well. So Allen could be the man to beat, not only today, but for the rest of the year.
Well, it was Alan Kulwicki's 21st career pole in 192 starts. His last pole was in April at North Wilkesboro. This is the 15th Super Speedway pole and the first on the Super Speedway in 1992. We're getting set for Speed World coverage of the champion spark plug. 178.196 is Alan Kowicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin, in the Hooters Ford car 7. Then Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, in the Valvoline Ford car number 6. Starting in third position is Davey Allison from Hueytown, Alabama, driving the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford. Next to him is Ken Schrader, the best of the General Motors products, Benton, Missouri driver, the number 25 Kodiak Chevrolet. In row number 3, it's Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California, in the Kodak Film Chevrolet, car number 4. Alongside will be Conroe, North Carolina's Morgan Shepherd, driving the number 21 Citgo Ford. Starting in 7th position is Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, the winningest active driver at this track, in the Budweiser Ford number 11. And then his teammate Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee, driving the number 22 Maxwell House Coffee Ford. Then Darrell Waltrip starts in 9th position in the Western Auto Chevrolet car number 17. Brett Bodine starts in 10th position in the Quaker State Ford number 26. In the 7th row, Terry Labonte and the defending champion Dale Jarrett. The 8th row, Kyle Petty and Bobby Hamilton, as you see Dale Earnhardt going down pit road. The 9th row, Derek Cope and Dick Trickle. 10th row, Jimmy Hensley and Hud Strickland driving a Ford. In row 11, it's Richard Petty and Jimmy Horton. 12th row, Stanley Smith and Harry Gant. Row number 13 is Greg Sachs and Michael Waltrip. 14th row, Wally Dallenbach and Rick Mast. In row number 15, it's Dave Marcus and Bobby Hillen. Chad Little and Eddie Bierschwale make up row number 16. In 17th row, Rusty Wallace and Lake Speed. Ted Musgrave and Jeff Purvis in row number 18. The 19th row, Jimmy Means and Stan Fox. In the 20th row is Jeff McClure and Mike Potter. And starting in 41st position, row number 21 is Dale Earnhardt. And that's because he failed technical inspection after the second round of qualifying yesterday, putting him to the back of the pack.
You know, Childress, Earnhardt, and that crew think of everything. He started 41st. He can't go any further back, so he stops after running one parade lap to put in a splash of gas.
And get a little TV time.
And get a little TV time.
And Jerry Punch is right there.
And that's exactly right, Benny Parsons. You hit the nail on the head. They figured that warming the engine up after it was loaded full this morning. They changed the engine, by the way, just before they put the car on the starting grid. Uses almost a gallon of fuel, so what do you have to lose? You're starting 41st, come top it off. You got 22 gallons to take the green flag. That may be an advantage if you have to run a long green flag effort on the track. So, nothing to lose for the Earnhardt team.
Just about to go racing here at Michigan International for 200 laps, 400 miles. Boy, you can't get many more people in here. A tremendous crowd on hand, and they are ready for an afternoon of NASCAR Winston Cup racing. So are we. We hope you are too. The green flag flies, and we're underway.
Those cars are still 1/1000th of a second apart. Kowicki wins the lap back to the start-finish line for the first lap.
But about a half a car length over Mark Martin as Davey Allison works to the inside of Ernie Irvin. Now Irvin has third position, and this is the shot from Mark Martin's car, running in second position right behind the Hooters Ford of leader Alan Kowicki. And the telemetry will show you the speed and the RPM on the car.
Down the back straightaway, which is probably a little bit slower, 190 miles per hour.
Straightaway it's not really a straightaway. The tri-oval here in the front is normally a little bit faster than the back, so we'll see how much speed he does get. I predict it's going to be upwards of 195 or so, Bob.
94, 97 miles an hour. I saw 98.
Wow. So Alan Kowicki is your leader. Mark Martin running in second position. Davey Allison has moved to third. And the battle for fourth position is side by side. Bill Elliott to the inside, and that's Ernie Irvin to the outside.
Looks like Irvin's car is pushing early on. I saw him up in turn 4 the last lap, going extremely high. Let's see if he can hold the car down this time. Oh, boy, that was close between 22 and 25. Maul on the inside and Schrader on the outside.
Also in this pack, Darrell Waltrip and others as once again we go inside. Morgan Shepherd, Citgo Ford, and the battle is right in front of him. beside him. Now Ricky Rudd moving along beside Morgan Shepherd.
Drafting is such a key factor on this racetrack because of the speeds that we saw on Mark Martin's car there a moment ago. And getting a good drafting partner is important. Maybe not quite as much so as Daytona and Talladega, but it's very important here.
King Richard Petty in his final starts at Michigan International Speedway began from the 21st position, qualifying at 175.725 miles an hour.
Brett Bodine going back with the car number 26, and Jeff Bodine also having a little bit of trouble. He's going back. Brett caught up in that outside lane. His car just doesn't seem to work up there. He's in the green Quaker State Ford number 26.
And the car right behind Richard is Bobby Hamilton, car number 68, and it is a Ford this week.
Morgan Shepherd trying to get on the inside of Ricky Rudd. He looks like he's got the spot made. Here comes Dale Jarrett trying to follow him. Morgan gets by, but Jarrett not able to draft along past Rudd.
There he goes on into the turn, and it looks like he's caught.
Oh, Hamilton is spinning.
And Jeff Bodine spins. Ooh, some heavy contact behind them.
Is that more? That's Greg Sachs' car, I believe.
3 cars involved in a crash on lap number 5 here at Michigan. There's Greg Sachs. He made hard contact with the outside wall after he was pinned up there. He appears to be able to make it to pit road, however, but 2 other cars, Jeff Bodine and Bobby Hamilton. I guess Hamilton continued on around. Jeff Bodine is against the wall in turn 4, and here it is again.
We see Hamilton go in the corner, and a car on the outside of him takes some of the air off, and around he goes. I guess that was Brett Bodine. Now Jeff spins, and that was Sachs that hit Jeff Bodine.
Yeah, Jeff spun right up in front of Greg Sachs. Greg had nowhere to go. And we'll look at it again. You see the green car on the right of your screen, and that is Bobby Hamilton. The back end just gets loose. It looked like Harry Gant going by up on the outside, or it's a green car at least, and Jeff Bodine spins and then shoots up the track into Greg Sachs.
You see all those cars going by on the inside. Now Hamilton probably didn't get a lot of damage.
No. He probably had the least damage of all. He continued on.
There's Jeff Bodine walking back to the pits. Tough break for him.
Boy, it has been a tough season for Jeff this year in the Motorcraft Ford. So the caution is out at Michigan International after a 3-car accident between turns 3 and 4 on lap number 5. We'll be back with more of our live coverage in a moment.
A noble warrior advised.
In-car camera as he motors around Michigan at reduced speed. Getting set for a restart, but it's going to be a couple of more laps because they're still cleaning up the accident scene in turn number 4. Glad you could be with us. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in southern Michigan. Stay with us for more.
John, how you doing? You know AutoZone.
Move from 21st to 15th. This is his 48th start. He has 4 wins at this facility. Last one in August 1981. 19 top 5 finishes. His last top 5 was in August of 82. We had a very interesting start here at Michigan International a few years ago. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
This Richard Petty memory is brought to you by new STP engine treatment. Help stop engine wear before you start. Michigan International Speedway, June 15, 1986. And Father's Day takes on a special meaning to Richard Petty as daughters Sharon, Lisa, and Rebecca help commemorate his 1,000th career start.
It was emotional for me. I told them I was glad I had my sunglasses on where they couldn't see how emotional I got, but I'm not an emotional person. But when your daughters do something like that in front of all the people, and like I say, it's 1,000 start, that was a big, another one of our big days. To have them to do something like that. But like I say, they say, Daddy, start your engine, and then they finally let everybody else crank up. I told them I ought to give me a lap or 2 head start. It'd been better off.
You start it every morning. Start after start after start. When most of your oil is still down in the pad, you start metal-to-metal contact. You start engine wear. Now help stop it with the latest breakthrough from STP. New engine treatment. It bonds right to engine parts. Independent tests proved it. Just add a quart at your next oil change and help stop engine wear before you start with new STP engine treatment.
He's Stock Car Racing's all-time winner. He's Stock Car Racing's all-time most popular driver. He's the king, Richard Petty. In this new ESPN home video, The Ride of a Lifetime, Richard Petty and STP, you'll have the chance to come along with me, Dr. Jerry Punch, for a personal visit to Richard's home, and we'll show you classic video footage of Richard's greatest moments. To get your copy, call 1-800-342-3400.
Back at Michigan, under caution. And while we are under caution, let's show you our first Napa field summary, how the cars were running under this caution. Several pit stops have been made during this caution period, but we're just about now to get set for more racing.
See, Harry Gant made a pit stop, just put in a splash of gasoline. So I guess these guys are figuring that it might go green for pretty good ways, and they want to get all the gas they can in the car.
Earnhardt came back in, and several other cars. Of course, Bobby Hamilton came in, get his car checked out, and car number 77 with Mike Potter.
Hamilton had minimal damage to his number 68. Derek Cope made a pit stop. He had a fender rubbing. He's okay, and the green flag is back out. Ernie Irvin making a move on Davey Allison as they head for turn 1. Ernie's got Davey, and he's also got second as he passed Mark Martin like he was tied to a post, and now set sail for Alan Kulwicki. How about that?
Wow, did he have some momentum when he got past the start-finish line?
Man. Yeah, we're talking about, always talking about Dale Earnhardt, what a great start he gets. Well, looks like Irvin is trying to copy Earnhardt. It was a fabulous start.
Here's Morgan Shepherd trying to move on the inside of Darrell Waltrip. Ooh, 3 abreast. Hut Strickland driving the board here for the first time. Backs off as Ricky Rudd back up on the outside of Dale Jarrett. Jarrett had just passed him before the caution came out.
This track is 73 feet wide in the corners, and that's one reason why we see 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 abreast racing at this facility. Now Kyle Petty moving inside of Ricky Rudd.
Kyle lost a few positions on the start there. He was up in front of Morgan Shepherd before the caution came out, and during the caution, but he lost a little bit there on the start. Ricky Rudd's car looks like it's washing up a little bit in the turns, having a hard time keeping it down on the bottom of the racetrack.
All passing the 77 driven by Mike Potter.
Davey Allison is a guy who lost him on this restart. He was running third when he threw the green. He's back about 7th or 8th already, so I don't know what his problem could be.
Hut Strickland in the Ford, as Ned said, and there's our winner from last week, the rain-shortened Watkins Glen Budweiser with the Glen, Kyle Petty, coming up on Ricky Rudd, who slides up the racetrack.
Yeah, Rudd's been doing that in almost every corner. The Dodge Chevrolet just not staying down quite as well as he would like for it to.
Richard Petty coming along right behind.
There's Davey Allison.
Yeah, he has slipped back. He's back to 6th position now. Coming back a little bit as he's moving alongside now Ken Schrader in the 25 Kodiak Chevy.
He must have missed a shift or something on the start of the race. You know, his right hand, his shifted hand is the one that has all the injuries, so maybe he has some trouble shifting the car. Jerry Punch, do you know anything about what happened to Davey?
Yeah, we do, Benny. When they gave the green flag for the restart, Davey radioed his crew. He thought he had a flat tire. Apparently, he had some rubber buildup on that radial tire, and the car got real loosely back down to the gas, but now the car seems to be okay. In fact, Mark Martin radioed the same thing to his Jack Roush. He thought he had a flat, so apparently both those guys backed out a little bit, and that was a break for Ernie Irvin.
And Mark Martin is back on the gas because he's pulled alongside Ernie Irvin in the battle for 2nd position, and Mark gets it as they come off the 4th turn and onto the trioval. Martin 2nd, Irvin 3rd. Kulwicki is the leader of the race.
Look at Mark Martin pull away from Ernie about 2 car lengths in that corner.
Yeah, didn't have much problem passing him, and once he did pass him, he's starting to drive away a little bit. Of course, Alan Kulwicki's got himself a pretty good lead out there at the moment, but look at Richard Petty coming up through the pack.
He has had some fine performances at this racetrack in his late career, and he is turning in a good performance here in the first 15 laps of this event.
He's able to run right on the bottom of the racetrack.
And he is up to 13th position, Jerry.
Bobby Loomis told me, the crew chief, that you got to watch us on Sunday. He said we have a brand new race car for Michigan. And on top of the new race car, our engine man, Bob Ripple, who they've nicknamed Mr. Torque, has put one dynamite motor. So we're going to be a factor if we can stay out there all afternoon.
Well, wouldn't it be interesting if he gets his 201st win at the track that he started his 1,000th race, Michigan International.
We're too high for that, Bob.
Why?
Well, I think the people's going to tear the grandstands down, and we're sitting up on top of them, so we're in big trouble if he wins this race.
We'll have to jump off the back.
He was running well.
He is. Petty and Rudd there, 13th and 14th. Rick Mast is coming up on Terry Labonte. Mast working the low group. And ahead of Petty is Kyle and Hutt. They're side by side. And right ahead of him, the defending champion, Dale Jarrett, who was driving the car that's right beside him that's being driven this year by Morgan Shepherd, or at least the same team.
I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't the same car, Bob.
Could be.
I don't know if they crashed that car anytime after that or not, but it's watching up a little bit in the turns, and Jarrett looks like gets the measure of him this time coming off the turn and makes the pass.
Great in-car shot from Morgan Shepherd, and we go down to Jerry Punch once again.
Just to answer your question about that 21 car, I asked Eddie Woods, this is the same car that Dale Jarrett won with last year. He said, no, as a matter of fact, that car was destroyed in the Winston when Dale Jarrett spun and Morgan tagged him. He said, so Dale took care of that car for us. For the lap.
Ned, you won't ask the question anymore, will you? No.
Hut Strickland, car number 12. Petty as we move our camera through the field and catch up with the leader.
It looks like Mark Martin's also catching up with the leader.
Yeah, he is. He's within 3-4 car lengths now. Another good in-car shot from Mark Martin as we watch his pursuit of the leader, Alan Kowicki, completing lap number 19.
Is this a roof cam? This is the camera on top of the roof.
I think it's... And here is a battle right behind him between Darrell Waltrip and Ken Schrader. A couple of Chevys going at it.
You know, Darrell Waltrip had a great run here in June, finished second to Davey Allison. Had a good qualifying run here for the Champion Spark Plug 400, qualified in 9th position.
And John Kernan has a comment on Darrell Waltrip.
Guys, you want to talk confidence. I don't think there was a more confident team than Darrell Waltrip's Westernado Chevrolet crew this whole weekend. Talking with them this morning, they said they only ran 12 laps under speed during practice and qualifying this whole weekend. They said they hadn't changed a thing from their second place run back in June. Darrell's plan, simple, just as usual. Hang in there, hang in there. Last 100 miles, that's when he's going to try and make his move toward the front.
He's in 8th position right now. About a half a straightaway behind the leader in pursuit of Ken Schrader.
At this racetrack, as long as you can see the leaders, you know, when you come off the second corner and look towards turn 3, as long as you can see the leaders, you have confidence you can win the race. When they get out of sight, you feel like you're going to lose, and normally you are.
Davey Allison and Bill Elliott are wheel-to-wheel for 4th position.
Davey dropped back to 7th on the restart, but has gradually worked his way back up, trying to take over 4th.
We haven't even heard Davey mention relief drivers so far since we've been here, but Jim Sauter is the selected driver if Davey would have to relinquish the car to someone else, but he is in 5th position at the moment. Up front, it is still Kowicki, and now the interval between himself and Mark Martin is less than 2 car lengths. And a car going very slowly down the backstretch is Jimmy Horton.
He blew down in 1 and 2, Bob. I saw him just a moment ago. Smoke, and he's dead on the inside of the racetrack. It looks like that it's over for the day. And looky here comes Mark Martin right on the back bumper now of this Hooters Ford.
Backstretch is 2,242 feet long, and it's 5 degrees of banking. And that's where Martin is pursuing Kowicki at this moment, now into the 18-degree banking of turn number 3.
Here, Mark Martin's car started to push a little bit. He had to get out of the gas to make it turn.
Now in event, and anybody that came today had to take an infield spot, and that is, for the most part, filled. 23 laps have been completed here at Michigan International. Kowicki, Martin, Urban, Elliott, and Davey Allison in the top 5. 6 through 10, Marlin, Waltrip, Schrader, Jarrett, and Shepard. For the champion Spark Plug 400, and a great battle up front as Martin mounted a challenge against Alan Kowicki there, but he could not pull off the pass, and so Kowicki maintains the lead.
He got a nose under him, Bob, but he just couldn't make it work.
And another Napa field summary for you. This is how the field was running last lap. ESPN signal is being carried internationally today, and we'd like to welcome everyone watching on Sky Sport in the United Kingdom. Sky Sports, we should say. And we welcome you to our coverage. Hope you enjoy NASCAR Winston Cup racing, watching us from the United Kingdom.
When you say United Kingdom, where is that, England or is that the world? Or
That's
what?
the whole big thing over there in England.
I understand that Benny Parsons is very popular over there.
In fact, they've even asked for an autograph session. Yeah. So, yeah, and a big meal. Does that sound more attractive?
I could go have tea and crumpets with the Queen, no problem.
What's a crumpet?
I don't know. I've heard of them, though, and if it's something to eat, believe me, I'll try it.
Now the first 4 begin to close in on each other. Ernie Irvin in 3rd and Davey Allison in...
Bill Elliott,
I should say, in 4th position, have closed in on Martin and Kowicki.
They indeed have. I think now is the time, Bob, when you can tell how the cars are handled. They've run 27 laps. They're working the 28th lap right now, and about more than 20 of those have been under the green flag. And the tires are really heated up. This is when you can tell whether a car is really working or not. And we see some out there that are not. I mean, not that these up front here, they seem to be doing okay. But there are a few of them, maybe like Dale Earnhardt. He's not doing too well. He started way back in the back, and he's still way back in the back.
Yeah, he started 41st, and he's 26. He's been in the pits a couple of times. Again, he was relegated to the back of the pack because in second-round qualifying yesterday, although he was the quickest, his speed was disallowed because the car was too low and failed post-qualifying technical inspection, and so he went to the rear of the field.
But there's one car that's moving along pretty well, Bob, and that is as we see Earnhardt going very high, Kyle Petty in the mellow yellow Pontiac is coming up through the field. Watch him going to Ken Schrader. Schrader was passed by Darrell Waltrip a few laps ago, and now Kyle just drives down under him and drives right on by.
He picks up 8th position.
Kyle's car is working wonderfully on the low side of the racetrack. All these other guys going to the corner and pushing up or going to the top of the racetrack. He's able to run on the bottom of the racetrack, which obviously is a short way around. Watch as he goes low and Schrader way up on the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, now Dale Jarrett gets under Schrader as well. Now while they run side by side, Kyle Petty will probably pull away from him.
So Dale Jarrett looking for the 9th spot here. Pulling alongside Ken Schrader at the end of the backstretch.
See if they can make the thing stick on the bottom of the racetrack like Kyle Petty did.
Not nearly as well as Kyle did. Kyle just was able to get on the gas full throttle coming off that turn and just drove right on by Schrader.
Now he moves ahead of him slightly at the line.
Well, he knows how to do that part.
He learned that lesson last year.
They're wheel to wheel, Bob.
Yeah, they are.
Remember last year when that last lap was wheel to wheel rubbing and you got excited, didn't you?
Oh, not very, no. Rub, they touch, I don't know what I said.
Well, they're costing both of themselves some time by running side by side here. They just, of course, they're racers. That's what they're doing. They're racing. But they are losing some time by doing it. Yeah. And they'll drove in a little hard that time and made it stick, so it made the pass stick.
Dale moves to 9th, Ken Schrader 10th.
You can see that. We get a shot of the right window that's in the car. We saw it in Kowicki's car at the top of the show. The first race that they've had to run the window in the right side of the race cars here at Michigan International Speedway.
We talked about Dale Earnhardt and the fact that he isn't moving up very quickly. Jerry, what's the status?
He has been slowing the last couple laps. We'll check in with Kurt Shelverdine. Kurt, what's the problem with the car?
Dale thinks he might have a flat, Jerry. He's not exactly sure which one. It's probably a left side, you know, if you can't tell exactly which end of the car it is. But we may have a slow leak, and we're trying to see.
Car very unstable. Dale complaining of he's having to basically battle a bucking Bronco out there. He'll try to hold on for another 8 or 10 laps for their first scheduled pit stop. All right?
Now Dale moves up on the racetrack alongside Jimmy Hensley.
Yeah, he's not tiptoeing with that.
No,
thing.
he isn't.
He feels pretty comfortable with it. Driving it in up on the outside.
Stanley Smith just ahead of Dale. Of course, the King just ahead of Stanley.
Lee Richards backed up a little bit from where he was. He really had made a good charge up towards the front, but he dropped back a little bit now.
Yeah, he's back to 23rd. Phillips, 66 in-car camera, and Jimmy Hensley's right in the middle of the pack that's been running together for several laps.
They have. This is the kind of racing that we used to see here at Michigan for the lead. You see 8, 10, 12 cars up there dicing it up. But this is, in fact, from what, about 12th through 20th? Ooh, man. Earnhardt went through that crowd pretty good.
He sure did. That's Blake Speed there at the back of the pack in the middle alongside
in a Ford.
Yeah, Jimmy Hensley and Purvis.
Chad Little driving the 9 car right in front of, that's Blake Speed in front of Hensley. There's the 9 car that you're seeing now. Chad Little, man, what a mess car.
That's the kind of a situation you can see an accident. Hope we don't, but when they start jockeying around that much with the tires hot, sometimes the car can slip just a little bit. Earnhardt slips up to the outside. Stanley Smith goes to the inside, and Bobby Hillin.
10 cars battling there, and Mark Martin continues to try to grab the lead away from Alan Kulwicki, but he has not done it yet. So that's how they're running up front. Let's go back here and watch this scramble for position. 10 cars battling here. We talked about the United Kingdom. There's the car owned by Team Ireland, Bobby Hillin, at number 31.
And just passing him was the car number 68 of Bobby Hamilton, who is running a Ford here also for the first time. And he spun earlier, but he's working his way back up through there.
And John Kernan is down in King Richard Petty's pit. And as we mentioned, the King is falling back. He's now 29th. John?
Well, Bob, a slight handling problem for Richard Petty. Just talked with Robbie Loomis, the crew chief on that car. He says that the car's picked up a push, and so they're just going to have to ride it out and get the next pit stops on the first round of pit stops. They're going to have to try and make some chassis adjustments, try and loosen that car up just a little bit.
In practice yesterday, I heard more drivers, and I watched a lot of them coming into the garage area. There were more of them complaining about the cars pushing than ever before. Normally on this racetrack, you hear them talk about the car being loose, but the back end is really sticking on them. Then you don't know if it has anything to do with the skirts they're running here, and of course the windows. I don't know if that has tightened the cars up, but that was one complaint they had.
There's so many. When you put that side window in and you lean that car against all that area, certainly you're going to help the car from getting loose. And, yeah, these guys really don't know what they have right now. But I know one thing they've got is a lot of speed.
Now, for the fans who wonder what we're talking about, Benny mentioned at the top of the show that they're running the windows, side windows, for the first time here at Michigan. Now, they've been running those at Daytona and Talladega. But the speeds have picked up enough here in Michigan now that they're running the window. You can see it there on the right side. And also, they have the little skirts on the bottom of the car in case it gets sideways to keep it from picking up and spinning the wrong way.
Davey Allison's crash at Pocono, I think, was the thing that mandated that. And they just felt that on tracks that do have a lot of speed besides Daytona and Talladega, these skirts and side windows keep the cars on the track a lot more. They have a tendency not to fly when they spin and get air under them. So it's Alan Kulwicki leading Mark Martin with 37 of 200 laps completed. ESPN's live coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400, and we were going to commercial, but we won't because there was action on the racetrack, and Mark Martin touched with Kulwicki off of turn number 4, but Mark got the lead.
Came off the corner and did a slide job like they talked about on Saturday Night Thunder. The only problem was Kulwicki was still there as Martin was sliding up the racetrack. They came off turn 4 and bumped.
Here it is again.
Here we see Martin on the inside. Now, he's got a good head of steam up. He thinks he's going to clear Kulwicki because he's on the get. Uh-oh, he got the car a little sideways. Had to go up. And we see Kulwicki's car also wiggle. Close call for both those cars.
Well, we didn't want you to miss that pass, so now that Mark has taken the lead and things have settled down just a little bit, we will take another break and be back with more live coverage from Michigan. Mark Martin leads Kulwicki, Irvin, Elliott, and Allison.
Well, he was losing a lot of time on the racetrack, but we'll see that Tide Chevrolet pick up a lot once he gets back out there with those 4 fresh tires on it.
Pit stop came on lap number 41. And Ricky Rudd picks up momentum heading down the backstretch.
We'll see others start coming in. We predicted about lap 45 or so, but we see Dale Jarrett and Ken Schrader slowing down to come into the pits. So they're coming in a little bit earlier than we thought.
9th and 10th place runners are on pit road. Dale Jarrett and Ken Schrader. The 23 car of Eddie Bierschwale also making a pit stop. Slowly down pit road, and Jerry Punch is there to call these 2 stops.
And a pair of Chevrolets pitting nose to tail. Kenny Schrader's Kodiak crew changing right side tires, making a major chassis adjustment in the Schrader car. Likewise, they are going to adjust the chassis there in Dale Jarrett's car. You see Kenny Schrader's crew now. They have changed right side tires. Only 2 tire change for Schrader. He's away, but Dale Jarrett will get all 4 tires on the Interstate Battery Chevrolet. Likewise, they have made a chassis adjustment on his car. He is down. He smoked the tires, and he's away.
He lit him up coming out of there. Speed limit, by the way, on pit road is 65 miles an hour.
Ned, that's pretty strange. Schrader changing right sides, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I was a little surprised that he only took on the right side. Hud Strickland is in, so is Terry Labonte coming in. Let's see how it works out on the racetrack. Just changing 2 tires for Schrader.
Green flag pit stops being made here. Lap 43. Terry Labonte is coming in. Davey Allison also is on pit road. And let's go to Jerry Punch.
First scheduled stop for the Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Davey Allison brings the car very deliberately down pit road. Remember, the speed is just 65 miles an hour. Davey will bring the car to a halt, and the Robert Yates crew, Larry McReynolds, Ryan Pemberton, and the rest will go to work changing right side tires. Looks like they are going to change only 2 right side tires because track position is very important here. Right side tires going in. It is full of fuel. Allison is away in 12 seconds flat.
Good pit stop for the Haviland Texaco Ford, driven by Davey Allison. And now Mark Martin, the leader of the race, comes in.
Sterling Marlin's right behind him, also Kyle Petty. So, Dan, how many tires do you think he's going to change? Is he only going to change 2 or 4?
I don't know. I would guess that Mark Martin will change 4, but we'll see.
He stops.
Looks like, no, don't look like they're going to the left side to loosen the lugs. Jerry Punch.
Looks to be only a 2-tire stop as well for the Valvoline crew, Ned and Benny. Steve Bill and the crew now.
Yeah, but crash in turn 1. Crash in turn 1. Don't know who it is, but he is sliding all over the place and banging into the wall. Looks like it's Stan Fox. Stan, if you saw Saturday Night Thunder last night, and I hope you did, had a frightening accident in a USAC midget at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The car got up on the wall and turned over, came down hard on the roll cage. Stan trying to commute between here and Indianapolis Raceway Park the last couple of days, and now his Winston Cup car has crashed here at Michigan. Now here was the race to the line as the caution came out. Kulwicki and Bill Elliott.
And Bill wanted to get those 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Thought this might be one of his better opportunities. A break for these drivers. Let's see which one is going to get to the line first. They touched there for a little bit.
Wow. Who was it?
Looks like Elliott.
That was close.
Yes, it was.
Here's the line.
No, I think it's Kulwicki. I don't know who it is.
Yep. Too close to call.
Does that come under too close to call?
I think so.
And guys,
let the NASCAR officials figure that. What a break for those drivers.
I know Stanley Smith doesn't want this publicity, but while we were watching this and the replay, he spun coming off turn 4.
Is that right? There he is in the pit area.
And he made a 360 and came right on down pit road.
Here it is.
There he goes around and around. Stops that baby. Puts her in gear and goes to the pits.
She aimed to do that, Benny. Come on.
That's a strange entry to pit road, I'll tell you.
Well, but it created some excitement for the fans. Stanley Smith on pit road, still working on the left side of the car.
Good break for those who had not made a pit stop. Bad break for those who had made pit stops, and some of them were lapped down.
And the pace car has not yet picked up the field, so pit road is closed except for those under emergency circumstances.
Mancini Optical.
Alan Kulwicki Kulwicki is in, so is Bill Elliott. Alan on the top and Bill on the bottom as their pit crews work and changing tires on the left side of Elliott, and he's off. Now still working on the left side of Kulwicki's car. Now he begins to pull away. And he's pitted toward turn number 1 at the end of pit road.
So Kulwicki got out first.
Good pit stop by the Hooters crew. Ernie Irvin, meanwhile, had a pretty slow stop. They must have made a chassis adjustment or something, because he went in running about 3rd. It looks like he's going to come out running about 5th or 6th.
I can also tell you that Richard Petty got his lap back under that caution. He had just gone a lap down, but got back around the leaders and now is in 21st position, and there are 23 on the lead lap. So we're under caution for the second time this afternoon as pit stops being made, and at 8 o'clock tonight, join us for ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. This week from the south side of Chicago as the Yankees go up against the White Sox from Comiskey Park. Roberto Kelly leads the Yankees against the power of Frank Thomas. John Miller, Joe Morgan with all the action at 8 o'clock tonight. Exclusive coverage on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. 8 o'clock tonight. Under caution here at Michigan. We'll take another break and be back with more of our live coverage of the Champions Park Plug 400, race number 19 of the season. Fan at home could win a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. If you have entered the contest for this race, your entry is selected and you are called at home, you must name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge to win the Chevy. Now, if you want to enter our next contest, which will be for the Bud 500 at Bristol, we must have your entry by the 28th. Write to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731-2246. You must be 18 years of age or older, and we must receive your entry by Friday, the 28th, to be eligible for the Gillette Halfway Challenge during the Bud 500 at Bristol International Raceway on Saturday night, the 29th. Ricky Rudd has been in the pits again, now pulling out.
Well, he and the car number 12 of Hut Strickland, the car number 18 of Dale Jarrett, and the car number 25 of Ken Schrader had all made green flag pit stops, and they are a lap down. Schrader is at the tail end of the lead lap. He's right in between the leader, Alan Kulwicki, and the pace car, but he only took on 2 tires. Now, we saw Mark Martin and Davey Allison make pit stops as well, but they only changed 2 tires. They were far enough up that they got back out, stayed in the lead lap, so when the caution came out, they were still in the lead lap. Both of them have been back in since to take on left side tires.
Watch for your favorite driver as we once again show you the Napa Field summary where they were running last time around. Earnhardt, as you can see, up to 13th now. Richard Petty is 18th.
Showing 22 cars in the lead lap. See, Schrader is almost a lap down.
Most of these guys are the victims of making a pit stop and the caution flag coming out just a couple of laps later.
That's Jeff McClure in car number 27. Stan Fox just crashed up in turn number 1. That's why we're under caution.
That car number 27, the Race for Life car, Bob, they're running, Jeff McClure is running a sign for 2 young boys down in Morganton, North Carolina, Leon and Danny Crump, who have a rare disease, adrenoleukodystrophy, and they're going to make one of those collector's cars from this car, and it'll be on sale to raise funds for those 2 young boys.
That's great. There's been a lot of people trying to raise money for those boys for a couple of years now, Ned.
Danny Crump, their dad, has been involved in racing, worked with Travis Carter quite a bit. There is the car, the Race for Life, Jeff McClure.
As strange as it may seem, the disease that these 2 boys have, there are no government programs for these kids. And it costs to keep them alive. I mean, they're fine, except they just need a shot or medicine. And it's, what, $50,000 or $100,000 a year to do that?
Well, it is. And now Leon needs a bone transplant. So they're waiting for a matchup. Okay, we're ready to go green again.
Indeed we are. The pace car has pulled into the pit area, and the green flag flies. We go back to racing on lap number 53. Alan Kulwicki is the leader of the race. Those cars in front of him are now getting back on the lead lap or making up a lap.
Yes, they are. Kulwicki, something wrong.
Way high.
Well, that gave those 4 cars there the opportunity they wanted if they could get a caution, but Kulwicki, something definitely is wrong, whether he has a flat or Well, we don't know.
Well, that car went straight up the banking, and Allen lost several positions. Here comes Ernie Irvin. Look at the tight competition here from Mark Martin's roof cam.
Ooh, Martin slides right up in front of Michael Waltrip's Pennzoil Pontiac. Now, Bill Elliott leads the race, so yeah, he has the 5 bonus points that you get for leading the lap. I think that's one reason Kowicki was trying to keep Elliott behind him so hard the other time, was trying to keep him from getting those bonus points.
Boy, something's wrong with Kowicki because he once again slides up the banking and loses his spot. Here's how it was when the green flag came out and they began to accelerate into turn number 1, and look at Kowicki.
He just went straight up the hill. I thought he was going to hit the wall for a second.
I'm sure he must have thought he had a flat tire, or tire, maybe just the car didn't feel right to him as he went into that turn. Now, Bill Elliott has passed all of those cars that shot out there in front of him and has put him a lap down. Jerry, what do you know about the Kowicki situation?
I just spoke to Danny Glad a minute ago, Ned. He said that Allen hasn't said it's loose or it's tight. He just said the tires aren't exactly what I wanted. He said, I'll get it sorted out. Give me a lap or two. So the car just slid up across the racetrack when it took the restarts. Give me a couple laps to get the car sorted out, and I'll move back toward the front. Right now, he said, it's not what I wanted. These tires don't feel good to me at all.
Well, Benny, a lot of times during caution periods, it's much warmer here today. Let's qualify that than it has been on Friday when they qualified, and yesterday in their practice runs. And on the caution laps, many times your tires will pick up some rubber that's in the turns, and then when you go into that turn the first time, you don't have full traction of the tire down on the pavement, and it'll give you a weird feeling.
That's right. Sometimes when that buildup on the tire, you only have about 10% of the tread on the racetrack.
Kowicki has fallen back to 8th position. And it's probably about 10 degrees warmer, although it isn't warm here by any means. Temperature in the mid-70s, but it was in the mid-60s when they qualified on Friday.
That was another reason for the high speeds.
Now there's the 2nd and 3rd place cars of Brett Bodine and Ernie Irvin as Bill Elliott leads this race. Irvin heads up the banking to challenge Brett Bodine in the Quaker State Ford. Brett holds him off for the moment. Waltrip is right behind, so is Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, and Rusty Wallace.
Schroeder must have had his hands full out there with, he just changed 2 tires when he made his pit stop and did not stop under that caution flag.
Now Wallace there at the tail end of that pack is not on the lead lap. Rusty shown in 25th.
He's one of those drivers that have made a pit stop.
Oh, there's Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd is in the wall, and flames are trailing behind the car. We're going to bring out our 3rd caution of the day.
Looks like some pretty heavy contact on the right side of that car. He probably knocked an oil line off, or maybe the fuel pump off the car, and that's the fire that we see. And the fire truck immediately up to the 8 of the Tide Chevrolet.
And no drivers got a lap back as Bill Elliott led everybody back to the line.
And Doyle Ford and assistants trying to get the field slowed down because the fire crew did arrive on the scene.
And Rudd climbs out of the thing. Looks like wobbly, but he's...
Looks like he's okay. Looking back at the car. He, of course, Ricky Rudd won the IROC championship yesterday here at Michigan International, finishing in 2nd position to Al Unser Jr. Ricky picked up $175,000 for being the 1992 IROC champion, but today's Winston Cup race ends with the number 5 Tide Chevrolet against the wall. You're watching the Champion Spark Plug 400 from Michigan.
Things are different.
In 6th position, and Ned, let's see if we can talk to him on the radio.
Mark, this is Ned Jarrett, ESPN. You read us?
Hey, Ned.
How's it going out there?
Well, it was going pretty good. It was going better until that yellow came out. We got a little bit behind. It's going to take a while to move back up. We've got a real fast car through the corners, but it's pretty hard to pass out here for me right now.
When you made that pass on Alan Kowicki for the lead, it got a little bit hairy there.
Well, I had to take it when I had a shot. Alan was going to be real hard to pass. I had a run at him going there, and he saw me coming and kind of gave me enough room. The Valvoline car's strong. I wanted to lead the race when I could. We had a real quick car through the corners, but I had to kind of squeeze him a little bit to get by.
All right, go get him.
Well, Mark Martin is certainly a driver who is on a hot streak. He's had 6 top 10 finishes in the last 7 races. He started this race from 2nd position, and they hit the rev limiter during qualifying, or he may have even sat on the pole. So,
because he didn't miss the pole but about 1,000th of a second. And folks, there's no way we can measure 1,000.
That ain't very much, is it? We understand that Ricky Rudd walked into the infield hospital. He will be checked there, but preliminary indication he's okay after a crash in turn 1.
Introducing Team Lucas and the 1992 conversion show outstanding performance. Become part of Team Lucas at Lucas Ford, Route 130 North in Burlington.
No matter what kind of used sports equipment you have, Play It Again Sports will pay you money for it. If your kids have grown or if you've changed sports, bring your old equipment in. We'll buy it and put it back in the game. Isn't it amazing how fast kids outgrow their hockey equipment? At Play It Again Sports, we'll buy that old equipment and sell you something in a better size. Play It Again Sports.
Football is back. The NFL returns to ESPN as the Detroit Lions battle the Buffalo Bills. The Detroit Lions, lightning quick Barry Sanders strives to restore the roar to a team on the verge of greatness. The Buffalo Bills, Thurman Thomas leads the way in a head-to-head battle between the most explosive backs in the game. The Lions meet the Bills Monday night at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Bill Elliott, Ernie Irvan, Brett Bodine, Darrell Waltrip, and Sterling Marlin are running 1st through 5th after 61 of 200 laps in the Champion Spark Plug 400, live from Michigan International Speedway. Our Speed World coverage being brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. By Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. And by Busch Beer, smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Well, the field is forming now for a restart with the lapped cars to the inside and those on the lead lap at the outside. Many came in to top off their tanks here in the last couple of laps. This caution has been for Ricky Rudd's crash in turn number 1, and we'll go back to green on lap number 64.
And Ernie Irvan was one of those that came in to top off his tank top, and boy, I'll tell you, that's a long way to go up through the pack. Jerry, why did he come in?
Yeah, there were 2 reasons, actually. One, the car was a little bit loose. They wanted to put about a round a wedge in it, but they're thinking way, way ahead. They told Ernie, he said, if you come in right now, we top it off, we can make it the rest of the way on 2 pit stops.
Strategy being played out already on pit road.
Man, it's 62 laps. We're worried about the end of the race already.
We're not even close to the halfway point. We're worried about the end of the race already.
Well, I tell you, give up that track position, it can be tough, but who knows, it might work out.
I haven't even finished my cup of coffee, and they're worried about winning the race.
Get that sandwich finished, and you'll be set for a few laps, huh?
Yep.
Here's Elliott leading him down, retaking the green flag, and back to full-speed racing. Brett Bodine is second, followed by Waltrip, Irvan, and Marlin.
The 12 car got a great run off the second corner trying to get by Elliott. And back in the lead lap. That's Hut Strickland in his Ford. He's the bestest Ford. I've been calling the Buick all year when he's been a Chevrolet. Oh, what I'll do now.
Elliott inches back ahead. Boy, Hutt really went to the bottom of the racetrack. He was on the white line here at the start-finish line. And look at this, 3 abreast into turn 1.
These cars are really, really zinging through these corners. And Hutt just can't get that lap back from Elliott. He can't get off the corner with the momentum that he needs to get by it. Now he pulls in behind Bill. Sitting back there watching all this. Both these cars are lap down.
And yeah, Earnhardt and Irvan are side by side with lots of of traffic ahead of them, including Bobby Hamilton and Morgan Shepherd.
They all
Yes, he did. He sure did. They're going pretty good now, but unfortunately he's a lap down.
I guess the coach is paying more attention to football these days than racing, huh? Or at least physically.
Yeah, once the practice got started, he was not able to come to any races. Kyle Petty down on the inside of the track. Is he letting cars go by? Or is he trying to pass Davey Allison? His car's been working low on the bottom of the track. I think he was just trying to pass Davey. But yeah, Coach Gibbs said he might not get to attend any more races until maybe till next February at Daytona.
Yep. Yeah, Kyle seems to prefer that low line. He comes down the tri-oval here sometimes and is running on a white line at the bottom of the track.
But when you get down there, you feel a lot of the momentum of the car, but if you get good traction, as he's doing right now, then you can get a good run off the turn and maybe go down the straightaway at a good speed. He pulls away from Davey Allison to see Davey Allison had the momentum. Up in that groove, he had more RPMs as he came off the turn, so they will go back running off.
Watching the battle for 6th position, Davey Allison and Kyle Petty. Kyle once again, half the car length ahead through the corner. Davey battling back on the outside as they head down the backstretch.
That's where a spotter comes in so handy that's familiar with these cars, and you can tell Kyle, look, you heard him move up coming off that second corner so he can get that momentum.
Bill Elliott comes down as the leader and completes 74 laps. The top 5, Elliott, Brett Bodine, Sterling Marlin, Darrell Waltrip, and Mark Martin.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And while you're at Western Auto, pick up AC oil filters for just 99 cents each after rebate. AC oil filters, it's like buying time.
Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
Where to find the Mountain Man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am GT proves it. Things are better because no import at its price can match the power of its 16-valve engine and the control of its standard anti-lock brakes. Not Accord, not Camry, no one. In fact, Consumer's Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
Went up to the counter and gave him my credit card, and the lady looked at it and she asked me, "Do you play hockey?" I said, "No." She said, "Oh, I could have sworn you played hockey."
We're getting closer to the halfway mark. If you've entered the Gillette Halfway Challenge and you're called at home and can name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge Award, you'll win a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. Now, if you want to enter the contest for our next event, the Budweiser 500 at Bristol on Saturday the 29th, you must have your entry by the 28th. Write to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731, 2246. You have to be 18 or older, and we must receive your entry by Friday the 28th to be eligible for the Gillette Halfway Challenge during the Bud 500 at Bristol International Speedway. in less than 2 weeks. Here's the leader, Bill Elliott. Behind him, good battle for second as Brett Bodine and Sterling Marlin are right together. Then comes Walter, Martin, Jarrett.
I think these guys are gaining on the leader. Looks like they might be a little bit.
Yes, they are gaining a little bit on. Darrell Waltrip is the man that's gaining the most.
Yeah, it looks like he's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Sterling Marlin moving to the top of the racetrack. Gonna try that groove a while. It looks like it might work for him.
He's got good momentum coming off the corner down the backstretch. He pulls alongside Brett, and he does take second.
There again, the spotter probably told him that Darrell Waltrip is running high. You might try it up there. And he moved up, and away he went. Well, I thought he had second place, but Brett Bodine has another thing about that. Yeah, Sterling has the spot. Now he can focus in on trying to catch that his teammate, the 11 car.
Well, you say teammate, but that's one car that he really would just love to catch and pass.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the fastest cars on the racetrack, however, is Darrell Waltrip in fourth. Now, we timed laps 72 through 76, comparing Elliott and Waltrip, and you can see on the far right that the interval was 2.6 seconds on lap 72, and Darrell has reduced that to 1.8 a few laps ago on lap 76.
Darrell Waltrip has won the Champions Car Club 400 twice. The last time, 1984. That was 8 years ago, so it's about time. Looking from inside Mark Barnes' car at Darrell Waltrip.
Cars in the lead lap.
That car's handling pretty well. He's able to get in the corner, get on the gas, and not have to get off and on the throttle a couple of times to get off that corner.
You don't run flat out around this place, do you?
No, you hit. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some race cars in there this morning, Bob, and here's Sterling Marlin. He's called Bill Elliott. A lot of these cars have like short track brakes on them. They're going down the corner and really hitting the brakes hard.
As a matter of fact, I think Dale had a brake problem here. Derek Jarrett had a brake problem here in June, didn't he?
He did, indeed. In fact, he came in for the pit stop. Didn't know he had a brake problem until he got right there. Ricky Rudd was sitting right in front of him. He hit the brakes and went up in there. And he had to make an evasive move to keep him running over Rudd. And his crew hit one of his own crew and knocked him up over the windshield, knocked the windshield out. Bill Deese was the man that he hit. And there was a fan in the grandstands that was showing it, that was taping it with a home moving camera and gave it to Dale last week up at Watkins Glen. Fan from Canada.
Well, Sterling Marlin now is just all over Bill Elliott in the battle for the lead. Let's go to John Kernan.
You mentioned their teammates, and yes, Ned, Sterling does want to get around that number 11 car. A lot of speculation as to where Sterling's going to be driving and what team he'll be driving for next year. He wants to prove himself, of course. Feels that if he can pass Bill Elliott, he's passing one of the best. Like to pick up his very first win. As far as changing his line to go higher, it wasn't the spotter up top who told him. It was crew chief Mike Dean who is keeping abreast of the situation of various cars on the racetrack and what kind of lines they are running. And he told Sterling, why don't you move up a little bit higher and see if you like that. And apparently it is to their liking.
He's closed in within the car length and a half or so on Bill. And Sterling is still looking for Winston Cup win number 1.
It's unbelievable that he hasn't been able to drive Victor Circle. He has 6 or 8 or something, a lot of them. And what, 4 poles this year? 4 pole positions in 1992. As a matter of fact, he's leading the contest that Busch Beer sponsors. Pays about $30,000 at the end of the year. He's leading that.
We're about 15 laps from the halfway point, and right now the race has kind of settled down into single file formation, and so we're going to get as many commercial breaks out of the way as possible so we can bring you the pit action and the action on the track when it happens.
Professional service, a friendly face. That's your Big A Pro.
Big A, People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value. This is La Quinta Inn's new money-saving Super Value Rates coupon. If you can't find one, just tell them you saw it on TV. Call La Quinta and ask for the new Super Value Rates from $34.50.
There's one battery that backs you with free Jumpstart service anywhere for any reason. Die Hard.
I can't believe I left my lights on.
Sears Die Hard. The battery you can count on to give you more power when you need it most.
The performance of a Chevrolet is determined by many factors. We consider volumetric efficiency, coefficient of drag, yaw damping, polar moments of inertia, induction velocity, camber, caster, bounce, rebound, thermodynamic load, slip angles, linkage arrangements. And at Chevrolet, we also take into account the yeehaw factor.
The cars more people depend on.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Around the world, around the year, with over 1 million miles of award-winning auto racing coverage. ESPN Speed World today in Brooklyn, Michigan, in the southern Irish Hills for the Champions Park Look 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race. Well, just when we thought things had settled down and nothing was really going on, we had another caution. It came on lap number 88 and is our fourth of the day. Lake Speed spun on the backstretch. We'll show you that in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, let's catch the live action as they come in for a pit stop. There's Elliott, and here's John.
Tim Brew and the crew will go to work on a regular 4-tire change. They were looking at coming in at about 12 laps from now, and about lap 100. Already the work is finished on the right side. They'll bring the jack around to the left side. Bill's got himself a nice cool drink. Looking over Sterling Marlin's now, the left side just going up on the jack. We talked about these two teammates racing out on the racetrack. Well, Elliott's crew wins the race out of the pits with Sterling Marlin not too far behind.
Elliott is moving out, so is Darrell Waltrip. Darrell is going to beat Sterling out of the pits. Here comes Brett Bodine. He's going to fall in right behind Bill, and Alan Kowicki will fall in behind Brett. Those guys, of course, pitted down at turn number 1, and so it was easy for them to get into position.
All year long. Oh, boy, Lake Speed is the car that spun out, and he took the car on around the racetrack, but boy, he has bigger problems now than he did when he spun out.
This isn't a replay. This is live.
Man, oh man, looks like an oil line is blown off or something.
Well, this is what happened a few laps ago while we were in commercial break as Lake came off the second corner and the car took off with him toward the inside. He spun. Don't think he hit anything.
He came on around the racetrack after that. Didn't look like he hit a thing. Purex forward.
But then when he...
I bet you he flat spotted the tires, and the tire went flat as he was going around to catch up to the field, and the tire came apart and knocked the oil line off the oil cooler, and that's where the fire we see.
Could be. And then this is what happened then when he came around.
That's where the oil cooler is right there on that left front. Man, I can't talk today.
Some pretty good flame coming out of there.
Doggone good flame.
Boy, can you imagine trying to get out of a burning race car as quickly as you can with the shoulder harness and the seat belt and the radio hooked into your helmet? Man.
Blake goes around to a lot of churches making speeches and what have you. He is a true believer, and he'll have something to tell now.
Yes, sir.
So you definitely don't want to be good because the result is fire.
Another reason to wear every available piece of safety equipment because he had gloves on, and you could see him throw one off of his hand. Obviously, he got a little hot, and had he not had the gloves, he may have been in pretty bad shape. So we're under caution now at Michigan for the 4th time this afternoon.
freedom. It's the spirit which moves the Cutlass Supreme, a car intelligently engineered to free your eyes, your hands, your senses. Introducing the new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The look may change, but the spirit remains the same. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Hey, want to meet the team? Just head over to McDonald's for these exciting USA Olympic Basketball Collector Cups.
Some are more exciting than others.
Some better looking. Get one free.
Free?
When you buy any large soft drink.
Large, like me.
All of them have exciting action graphics and player stats.
Not bad.
For a limited time, team one up
with large fries
and a big beefy triple cheeseburger, and you've got yourself the gold medal meal.
What you want is what you get.
At McDonald's today.
Gold medal? I'll take 2.
Shape up with ESPN's Midday Workout. First at 11, Body by Jake gets your engine started with a workout and great health and fitness information. Keep on going at 11:30 with a well-rounded routine on Getting Fit with Denise Austin. You'll keep on moving at noon with aerobic exercise on Bodies in Motion. And then at 12:30, Body Shaping helps you tone up and slim down. It's better to look good and feel good on ESPN's Midday Workout.
Top of the line parts.
Red, blue, and white.
Expert advice.
It's a good sign.
Your Big A Auto Parts store.
Keeps your car running right.
Where the pros go for auto parts.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
Someone to depend on when you need to depend on your car.
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back in Brooklyn, Michigan for the Champion Spark Plug 400. The leader of the race is Brett Bodine. Now, when we saw it live, I said that he's going to fall in behind Bill Elliott. However, that wasn't the case, and Ned is going to take a pen in hand here on our telestrator and show you why Brett is the leader.
Okay, here's Elliott. He's already made his pit stop and headed down pit road. Now, here's Brett Bodine. He's pitting down towards turn 1. He hasn't come out of the pits yet, and see, right here is the line. If I draw a reasonably straight one, that's the line that they're racing to as they come out of the pits. And whoever crosses that line first will be the leader.
It was close, but as you will see, Brett...
Now, disregard that little hump in my line there, fellas. But you can see Brett does get out there to the white line first, and as a result, he's the leader.
And Alan Kowicki was right there also. Jerry?
And actually, that was a 20-second flat pit stop for Brett Bodine. Donnie Richardson and the Quaker State crew got to give a call, but no one was prouder of that pit stop than car owner Kenny Bernstein, who went by and absolutely shook every crew member's hand a minute ago on what went on as far as his pit stop. Less than 20 seconds here in the pits for Brett Bodine. That put him back out up front.
This is not the first time this happens with this team, fellas. I've noticed them all year long that they've been making very fast pit stops. I started to comment on that, not even knowing how quick they had made this pit stop before we zeroed in on the Lake Speed car over there burning. As we see Lake's car there right now, it burned quite a bit up there on the left front. But the 2016, the Quaker State team have really performed in the pits.
Well, Kenny Bernstein, of course, himself is trying to win the Top Fuel Championship in NHRA drag racing, but every time he isn't racing and can make a Winston Cup race, he is here.
Man, Lake's... Speaking of Kenny Bernstein...
That's a white balance.
There's the man.
White balance.
Knows a little about television.
Yeah, he does. What's it say here? Champion Spark Plug is... they're looking toward that 10 grand, and if they can hold the lead for 9 more laps, they'll have it. 91 laps completed here at Michigan International Speedway.
What better way to enjoy summer than with fresh vegetables from C.S. Heel Farm Market? A summer barbecue wouldn't be complete without corn on the cob. Come to Heels for fresh-picked Silver Queen white corn, 4 ears for $1. Heels also has #1 quality ripe Jersey field tomatoes, a 4.5-pound basket for only $2.49, or a tray of 8 for $2.59. Extra large tomatoes are also available. For the finest foods and flowers in Burlington County, it's C.S. Heel Farm Market, Salem Road in Burlington Township.
Engine problems? Well, don't trade your car, trade your engine. That's right. Get a precision remanufactured engine for the fraction of the cost of a new car from Motorworks. Our expert mechanics will remove your worn-out engine and replace it with a factory-tested remanufactured engine. It's guaranteed for a full 12,000 miles. At Motorworks, we sell and install precision remanufactured engines. That's all we do. So whether you have a passenger car, light truck, RV, or commercial vehicle, call us for a free price quote. You'll be amazed how affordable it is. Motorworks.
Drysdale at the Thriftway ATP Championships near Cincinnati, Ohio. Join us today when Yvonne Lendl, who is making a comeback, takes on from the USA, number 3 player in the world, Pete Sampras, for the championship.
This coming Thursday night at 9 o'clock, Top Rank Boxing has a match between Carl the Truth Williams, Ozzie Ocasio, and Ricky Myers versus Carl Griffith. 9 o'clock Thursday, Top Rank Boxing.
Green flag.
Yep, here they come. Green flag is out. Brett Bodine is the leader. 93 laps completed, 7 to go to the halfway point, and $10,000 to the leader of the event at that time.
Once again, the car's on the outside line in the lead lap. Car's on the inside line, a lap down and trying to do something about it. And it looks like Dale Jarrett might be doing something about it with his Chevrolet, Ned.
Yeah, he got back in the lead lap there for the moment at least. Rusty Wallace trying to do as the same thing, trying to move on the inside of the 26 car Brett Bodine, but hasn't been able to do it yet.
Here comes Alan Kulwicki.
Trying to get by Dick Trickle.
Boy, Brett's car really pushed up as he came off of that turn. And that gave Rusty an opportunity to jump under there, but was not able to make that pass.
Davey had an idea of making it 3 abreast going down in turn 1, but common sense prevailed.
This is from Mark Martin's car. Take to the left. Sterling Marlin up ahead.
Darrell Waltrip right in front of Sterling. See, these cars look like they're running about 140, 50 miles an hour. Folks, they're running 185 to 90 miles an hour. About 160 right now. Ooh.
Sterling backed off to get around Hus Strickland. Hus a little bit loose up there. Now Sterling moves down on the inside of Davey Allison as Bill Elliott takes the lead.
Elliott has taken the lead on lap 95.
Looks like maybe Kulwicki has found out whatever kind of problem he had the last time. Looks like he's a little racy right now. 3 abreast. 3 abreast back behind him.
Tight 3 abreast.
A real tight 3 abreast. Ernie Irvin on the inside. And a crash coming off the second corner right behind him.
Right behind what we were watching, a crash breaks out. Rick Mast is involved, several others.
This will be the break that Dale Jarrett was looking for.
Yeah. Derry Cope was involved. He keeps going, however. There's a car up against the wall. I cannot tell the number. Looks like that everybody was able to keep going. But Dale Jarrett got a break and is now back on the lead lap.
Well, Bob, at the risk of boasting about your son, if he'd been anybody else, we would have said it. Before the caution came out, he was gaining on the leaders about 1/10 to 2/10 of a second a lap. So then he made the pit stop, got out first of those that were a lap down, and got the break that he needed here by outrunning the leader back to the line.
All right, our 5th caution of the day is out of the NASCAR Winston Cup Champion Spark Plug 400. We'll be right back.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am Sports Sedan proves it. Things are better because its new overhead cam engine gives you more than outstanding power. It gives you better mileage than Accord or Camry for a whole lot less. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
You know, I've messed up on a few relationships in my life, but there's one that's lasted over 35 years with a lot of help from Quaker State. It's tough on wear, tough on sludge. So Quaker State and I are planning on a meaningful relationship with my new car. So why don't you do the same with your new car's engine, and Quaker State will guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. You think if I gave Lonnie the Quaker State deal, she'd give me the same guarantee? Quaker State is one top motor oil.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that sense and adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor, when you're the best, there's no feeling like it.
From Morgan Shepherd's perspective, this is why we're under caution for the 5th time. Watch up ahead. And that's Derek Cope spinning. A little bump there, maybe?
Well, I think the car in front of him got sideways. I think the car in front of Derek got sideways, and he turned to avoid that car.
All right, watch and listen.
They might have touched the 30 car, but Michael might have had to back off because the car in front of him got loose, and Michael hit him.
Well, there were 4 cars involved. Looks like Cope has the most damage. Everybody else was able to keep going. They were Rick Mast, Jeff McClure, and Jimmy Hensley. And in fact, it didn't take long for them to clean the track back there. No debris or anything, and we are ready to go back to caution. And this will complete lap number 98. We'll be on lap number 99. So just 2 more to go to the halfway point.
Bill Elliott's the man that's in position to get it.
Let me just correct that again. We're going off caution back to green.
Oh, it's
not going back to caution.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Rusty Wallace,
you know what I mean.
Okay, Rusty Wallace, yeah, then he's about to say trying to get a lap back.
Just like Dale Jarrett did.
Rusty is 20th position.
Dives off in the corner and gets ahead of Elliott, but Elliott comes back on the outside with that momentum, and here comes Kowicki on the inside of Brad Bodine trying to take that 2nd spot away.
1 more to go to the halfway point. And $10,000 to the leader. We go down to the Derek Cope pit and Jerry Punch.
And Barry Dotson, you've taken the Chevrolet back to the garage area for Derek Cope. What happened? What did he say happened out there?
Just biding our time, probably the best run we've had all year. We kept taking advantage of the opportunity to put fuel in to stay in the lead lap. That's why we're back there 10th or 12th. And I guess on the restart, a lap car got up, slid up in front of us, and we slowed to miss him and got drilled from behind. And then evidently knocked the oil pump belt off. The engine broke right in front of us as he came by. So I guess you beat the traffic home.
Tough break here for the Purolator team and Barry Dotson.
And there is the halfway mark. Cross flags being displayed by Doyle Ford. We've completed 100 of 200 laps, and the leader of the race is Bill Elliott. He wins $10,000 in the Gillette Halfway Challenge. Now, if you have entered the contest and are called at home and can correctly identify Bill Elliott as the winner of the Gillette Halfway Challenge, you could win a Chevrolet Lumina Z34. I'll let you know before the end of the race who, if anyone, wins.
Brad Bodine having some problems now all of a sudden.
It's going back a little bit.
Kowicki got by, Darrell Walters got by, now Ernie Irvin has passed him up in the Kodak Chevrolet, so. Bobby Hill on the inside, I think.
Bobby has the Team Ireland car number 31. It's black, similar to Earnhardt's. In fact, it is an old Earnhardt car, I believe. This particular one might not be, but Martin Moraine, who owns that team, did buy his first car from Richard Childress. Still
there you see Kowicki in 2nd, Darrell Waltrip 3rd, then Ernie Irvin 4th in number 4. Got way up high coming off that corner.
He's using every bit of the racetrack as he comes up off that corner.
By the way, Bill is the winningest active driver here at Michigan with 7 victories. Now, David Pearson and Cale Yarborough have more wins here at this facility than Bill. Of course, they're retired, and Bill's 7 wins tops the mark among the actives.
Ernie Irvin got up under Darrell Waltrip in that turn, but Darrell had the momentum coming off, so he pulls back out in front of him.
Before Mark Martin got in turn 1, evidently someone got in his way, but he was way up in the debris and had to slow dramatically. There he is. He's backed up to Michael Walters and Bobby Hillen, Bud Strickland, Morgan Shepherd, Richard Petty, those guys. He lost 15-20 car lengths. He had to jump out of the throttle to save the car.
Saw the nose of Harry Gant's car up there for just a moment. Haven't seen or heard much of him, but he's still out there in the lead lap. In fact, he's being shown right now in the 13th position. Morgan
second. Sterling Marlin, once again, where did he come from?
Well, he just passed Ernie Irvin. Coming up there now, trying to take Waltrip, who is running third.
Well, he has come on strong here in the last couple of laps.
See, he sure lost something there. He didn't have momentum enough to do that. Moved down to the inside. He's going to lose everything that he gained.
And John Kernan is in Sterling's pit.
Talking with Mike Beam, he said yesterday they weren't satisfied with the way the engine in the car, the race motor, was running. So they pulled that out and put the qualifying motor back into it. Well, the only problem with that is there was a spot on one of the cylinder walls. Well, Junior talked to Mike about that. Said, you think we're going to have a problem? How many miles you got on that motor? And I said, oh, about 100 miles maybe. He said, well, it's a short race on Sunday. That motor can't go a total of 500 miles before it blows, then it's probably a bad motor. But they're banking on that nothing's going to happen to that motor.
Good right now, just past the halfway point.
Bill Elliott seems to believe that he has built up there now.
Now the Western Auto Race recap as Bill Elliott has led 41 of the first 100 laps. 5 caution periods for 26 laps. 18 cars are on the lead lap, and we have had 4 leaders and 5 changes, and the speed is well below the record at 125 miles an hour because of the 5 cautions. 4 drivers have led: Kulwicki, the pole sitter, Mark Martin, Brett Bodine, and the current leader, Bill Elliott. Those that have dropped out of competition, several for crashes. Greg Sachs was involved in the crash, as was Jeff Bodine. Jimmy Means, Horton Potter, Stan Fox crashed, Ricky Rudd crashed, and Lake Speed crashed and had a fire. Now the Mechanic of the Year standings from Western Auto showing that Donnie Richardson from Brett Bodine's team is on top by 6 points over Tony Glover. Tim Brewer's third, and Larry McReynolds and Steve Neal tied for 4th position in the Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings.
You see Sterling Marlin trying to fight his way back. He was by these cars a couple of laps ago, but he slid back behind Waltrip now. He's in 4th spot, 5th spot.
Allison is 6th, then Bodine, Kyle Petty, Mark Martin, and the 10th place car is Morgan Shepard. Bill's got a pretty good lead right now. The Budweiser Ford looking for win number 8 at Michigan International Speedway. You're watching live coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400, and we'll be back after this.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And while you're at Western Auto, pick up AC oil filters for just 99 cents each after rebate. AC oil filters, it's like buying time.
Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
What does it take to be a mountain man, do you?
Michigan, and a car going slowly in turn number 3 and 4 is Dave Marcus. That car developed a problem coming through the tri-oval, and he's trying to make it back to pit road and has made it onto pit road. So Dave Marcus's race, it appears, is all over.
New sponsor on the Dave Marcus car today, Ward's Apparel. Met the fellow down there. They said he's the largest Levi apparel dealer in Indiana or Michigan or some state.
Big one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Kulwicki going for the lead here, going to the low side on Bill Elliott. Ernie Irvin watching from 3rd place.
Now, Irvin, look at him cut that thing left and try to pull under Kulwicki coming off the turn.
Irvin is really quick right now.
They made some adjustments on that car and got him much quicker than he was earlier in the race.
Ernie Irvin moving to the inside and taking 2nd place from Kulwicki, or trying to.
Not so quick, said Allen.
Yeah, but watch him come off of that turn. Irvin's getting the bike down on the inside. And, well, still got some stuff to do.
Battle still rages. As we watch this battle for 2nd position between Ernie Irvin and Alan Kulwicki, like incident here at the track earlier in the weekend and went home to Lynchburg, Virginia this morning. So, Kevin, we wish you were here and wish you the best in your recuperation. A couple of people on the injured reserve list in the ESPN Auto Racing Group. Ernie still dead. Not, well, I believe he's got this. Oh, he slides
up in front of Al.
Slide job.
Man, that is so close. Make it stick this time and just slide right up in front of him. And he did. Alan's car going pretty high there in the turnstiles. Just now Irvin has thoughts of going after Bill Elliott. You know, not too long ago, Elliott had a pretty good lead, but now he doesn't have.
Back in 5th position is Darrell Waltrip, and 6th is Kyle Petty.
And Kyle Petty has run this group down. Remember, early in the race, he had a really good race car. It looks like it's coming back to him now.
Petty sporting inside that car today remembrances of the King Elvis Presley, who died 15 years ago on this date. On Petty's dashboard is in loving memory of Elvis.
You know, Bob, I'll never forget how I learned, as Ernie Irvin tries to make it past the lead, how I learned about Elvis Presley's death.
Yeah.
I was at Bobby Isaac's funeral. He was buried on this day, and Glenn Wood came up and said that he heard him on the radio as he was driving through the funeral.
Another Napa Field summary for you. Irvin still closing in on Elliott here in turn 4.
Boy, Irvin is getting off that turn 4. Coming off a little bit low and gets a good bite coming off there.
18 cars are on the lead lap. Down through 28, only 1 lap behind. Dave Marcus has taken his car behind the wall.
This has been a great car race so far.
It's been a good race.
115 laps, and I tell you what, I really right now don't know who has a superior car at the end of the race. And by now, we're supposed to have some idea who's going to win this thing.
You're right. There have been spurts of greatness from Elliott and Kulwicki, but nobody has been real dominant. We're looking for, and there he is, Dale Jarrett, who did get back on the lead lap and has been moving up steadily. Morgan Shepherd and is in 10th position. Morgan is in 10th and Dale is in 11th and now takes 10th position. Jarrett's having a fine run.
He has a fast car, Bob. He got a lap down as a result of making a pit stop, took on 4 tires. Caution came out about 2 laps later and was a lap down, but they got him back. And Jerry, they planned a little bit of strategy along the way there. What are they doing down there?
Dad, you got to give a call to Dale's brother-in-law, Jimmy Makecar, who's the crew chief. Makecar, when Dale got a lap down, said we're going to loosen the race car up. We'll make the car very loose. Because a loose race car, at least to some extent, is a fast race car. So when Dale got his lap back, and the caution came out to that spin over there with Darren Coates, they brought him back down pit road, put a couple rounds of bite back in the car, and tightened it back up. So, okay, now we're back in the lead lap. We'll tighten it up. We'll take our time. We'll be patient. We'll work our way toward the front.
Jerry, we got a great battle for 3rd out there, but don't go away. I probably won't see you between now and the big day, the 20th of this month. Happy birthday. Are you, what, 45? Is that it?
Thank you, Bob. And hey, checks in the mail, Bobby. No, I'm not quite your age yet, Bob. I'm at least a couple of handfuls away from that one, but thank you very much for the kind birthday wish.
Now, Petty has had a good car today. Look at it work down on the inside. Kulwicki's car is not working as well as he did earlier. Kyle trying to take 4th place away from Kulwicki.
Allen battling back on the outside, and Waltrip is right behind him.
Darrell's been there all day.
Yes, he has. Yep. That's his style of race, staying within striking distance until he can see the end of the race and then going. He was 2nd to Davey Allison in June here at MIS.
Here he comes down. He's trying to get hooked up with Kyle Petty. Here's Davey Allison trying to get by Brett Bodine. He got by him a few laps ago. Well, maybe Brett's trying to pass Davey again. It looked like the reverse, but Davey was in front of Brett Bodine just a couple of laps ago.
Whatever it is, they're racing for position, aren't they? And Brett might have him this time.
again to get by Kowicki. And they go to corner absolutely side by side.
4th, 5th, and 6th here. And up front, it's Elliott and Ernie Irvin. Sterling Marlin runs 3rd.
Well, I tell you, that Morgan McClure really had a good race car the last couple of months, haven't they?
Yeah, they sure have.
Every racetrack we've been to, Daytona, road courses.
He has
here in Michigan.
He's won 3 of the last 7 NASCAR Winston Cup races, talking about Ernie Irvin. There's 4th, 5th, and 6th as Kyle passed Kowicki to go to 4th.
Trying to move down on the inside. Gets a good run off the turn.
Winner at Pocono not too long ago, Darrell Waltrip.
Did that with exceptionally good gas mileage. Slide up there, but Alan backs off. Brett Bodine now gets a good run as Alan backed off, and that action.
That Bodine has done a good job coming back. Remember, he was up front. His thing restarted and slid back to about 6th or 7th. And now he's done a good job to catch these fellas back up.
He's in 7th position. Davey Allison is in 8th spot.
Well, I tell you, Davey's doing a great job, too, with the conditions that he is running under today. The injury, the family.
There's Mark Martin.
He was so fast the earlier part of the race. He and Alan Kowicki.
This is the in-car camera. Mark Martin, Valvoline Ford.
Sort of sitting there, not close to anyone in front.
Ken Schrader. And then Dale Jarrett. And I don't know how many of you saw Speed Week last night, but Dale just had an absolutely moving and wonderful quote regarding the death of Clifford Allison here Friday, and saying essentially that many people think drivers are cold because they can get back into a race car and do their thing after something like that happens. It was a very well said and appropriate situation for the race today here at Michigan.
Michael Walker there in the Pinfall Pontiac, car number 30. He's currently being shown in 20th place, 1 lap down.
Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, and the Budweiser Ford is the leader of the race. And Ernie Irvin runs 2nd with Sterling Marlin in 3rd. 123 laps completed out of 200. Back with more right after this.
Here's the advertising idea on Wendy's new bacon cheddar cheeseburger.
We see clouds, and then a voice says, Wendy's new bacon cheddar cheeseburger, eat it.
That's it?
That's it.
Gee, I thought we'd show a 1/4 pound of fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, and cheddar cheese sauce, all on a toasted Kaiser bun. You know, make people hungry, because it's a big sandwich.
Forget clouds.
What do you think about rocks?
Let me think about it.
Come try Wendy's new bacon cheddar cheeseburger.
The other day I get in my car, won't start. No small problem, right? Well, I figure it's the battery, so I go down to the AutoZone and I tell him what I need. The guy says to me, let's check your old one first. It might not be the problem. Turns out he was right. All I needed was a new battery cable. Talk about saving money. Now you tell me, would another parts store done that? They made sure I got exactly what I needed. Now I'll remember that. Believe me, I will.
Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Over the past few years, we have seen drivers sustain some significant burns to their back and bottom while being in a seat for a long, hot afternoon. And what actually happens is they perspire, and the padding in their seat will become just soaking wet. Now, this seat actually is nothing but a piece of aluminum sheet metal formed to fit the driver and bolted to the floorboard. As the floorboard heats up, so does the seat. So basically, a driver can get parboiled in a hot race car on an afternoon.
Now, Brett Bodine and Ernie Irvin came up with their own little contraption. It seems to work. We call it Brett and Ernie's ventilated seat. Now, show us how this works, Brett.
Certainly, Jerry. We take outside air off the B pillar with a NACA duct through a 3-inch hose, run it through a fan to keep the air speed up. Then as we come around to the back of the seat, we build a dead air space, a 1/2 inch off the seat. We formed about a 6 by 12 area, 1/2 inch deep. This allows the air to slow down, and as it does, we've drilled holes in the back side of the seat at the driver's back, 1-inch holes, 6 of them, and this allows the air to flow through the aluminum seat, keep the seat cool, and also cool the cover and the driver's back. Works very efficiently on those hot afternoons.
Very interesting little contraption. And talking about hot seats, this was from, not too long ago when Lake Speed's car developed a fire in the engine compartment, and he jumped out, probably hoping that he had one of those cool seats. Lake's okay. Was not seriously burned in that incident. Elliott and Ernie Irvin are running up front, along with now Kyle Petty. And Dr. Jerry Punch is with the Grand Marshal of today's race, the Rookie of the Year at the Indianapolis 500 this year, Lynn St. James.
Indeed, Lynn St. James, Bob, and the owner of 31 world records. And Lynn, first of all, coming off Indianapolis, what a tremendous month for you. Congratulations on an outstanding effort.
Thank you very much. It was great. I had a great time, a great team. I wish it wasn't over. That was the only bad part. You know, it has to end and keep on going.
Now, you set records at Talladega in a stock car. What about a future in a stock car, possibly a Winston Cup ride?
Well, I mean, I'd love to drive a race car, but this is great racing. And I can't tell you how many times in Indy that I kept remembering Talladega. Talladega helped me a lot in Indianapolis. So I'm thankful for Ford and the sponsors that enabled me to do the record. I wanted to do this. I tried to do this. I couldn't get a deal together, so I put an Indy deal together. So, you know, you got to be careful. You can't bounce around too much. You got to stay focused on what it is you got to do. But when you get here, you get all excited and think, God, this will be great.
What about a future? Any more IndyCar rides coming up in the near future?
Well, in reality, 1992 is over for me. I'm working on 1993. I want to do a full season. Our sponsors, JCPenney and Agency Rent-A-Car, were very happy with the results that we got. So we're working on putting all that together for next year. So I can get a lot of racing in before I get to Indy next year.
Lynn St. James, the Grand Marshal of the Champions Spark Plug 400, here joining us on the backside. We've had a pretty good battle going on up front, guys.
It is excellent, Jerry. It is Irvin and Elliott closely pursued, making it a 3-car race, as a matter of fact. Kyle Petty.
Yeah, Kyle just ran him down. He came from back in 4th position, passed Sterling Marlin, and then ran this duo down as they battled up there. Kyle has a good, fast car.
Watching inside Jimmy Henson's built 66 car.
He's 28, but running right behind the first 4. And Elliott and Ernie Irvin can't seem to decide who's going to lead this race.
This is a promoter's dream. A Ford, a Chevrolet, and a Pontiac nose to tail. And here comes another Ford.
Yep, Sterling Marlin joins the fray.
We'll have pit stops coming up before too long, fellas. So, don't know.
Somebody will have to back off to go into pits. And they don't want to right now. They're really and truly trying to determine who's going to lead this thing. Ernie wants to lead. Elliott just is not going to give it away. And Ernie's going to slide up the racetrack. He's got it.
Yep.
Same way he did Alan Kawicki. Got a good back coming off the turn and just move right up.
And look who's 5th, closing in on Sterling Marlin. It's Darrell Waltrip. There they are. They're all lined up in single file now, with Ernie Irvin in the lead.
Well, those few laps that they were racing side by side allowed those others to catch up.
And just before our scheduled pit stops, we'll show you an Applefield summary. And now they're running last lap. Now here comes Elliott. Kyle Petty trying to take second from Bill.
What happened is Bill saw that Ernie was running on the bottom of the racetrack and getting through the corners very well. He tried to run the bottom of the racetrack, and his car pushed. And he lost that much position that Kyle Petty was able to take that second spot away simply because Elliott tried a different line.
And look at Darrell Waltrip. He's trying the low line. It works for him. He goes to 4th.
Now is when we really tell whose car is handling well. Now Darrell goes high, Sterling gets back under him, but watch Darrell come off the turn. He'll get good traction coming off of that turn, and he'll beat him down the backstretch.
Yep.
Kyle Petty has moved that Pontiac into second spot.
Word is that Davey Allison will be pitting very soon.
Kyle Petty's coming in right now as well.
So Kyle Petty gives up his third spot, and here comes Davey Allison also. Petty and Allison both on pit road on lap number 134.
Speed limit 65 down the front stretch. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Scheduled pit stop for Davey Allison at the Haviland Ford Thunderbird. We'll take a look at our crew cam on the Jackman. They go to work on the right side of the car, jack the machine up. What looks to be only a two-tire change. One can of fuel going in. Scheduled pit stop. They are on the crew cam. You see him looking right to the left. He pulls the jack out, and Allison is out and away. He will be followed down pit road by Kyle Petty.
Good pit stop by both Allison and Petty, and the crew cam is being worn by Jeff Clark, the jackman on Davey's.
But he had to be a better pit stop for Davey Allison's crew because they were behind Kyle coming in and get out in front of him.
There is Ernie Irvin, the leader of the champion Sparkplug 400.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
Introducing Team Lucas and the 1992 conversion van. Now take the comforts of home on the road. Check out this roomy interior with plush seating, video cassette player, choice of 6, 10, and 14-inch TVs, even stereo headphones. Conversion vans also include driver's side airbags, anti-lock brakes, rear heat and air conditioning, and AM/FM cassette. The 92 conversion van and Lucas Ford show outstanding performance. Become part of Team Lucas at Lucas Ford, Route 130 North in Burlington.
No matter what kind of used sports equipment you have, Play It Again Sports will pay you money for it. If your kids have grown or if you've changed sports, bring your old equipment in. We'll buy it and put it back in the game. Isn't it amazing how fast kids outgrow their hockey equipment? At Play It Again Sports, we'll buy that old equipment and sell you something in a better size. Play It Again Sports.
Winston Cup racing has been one heck of a ride.
Chicago's Frank Thomas, shunned by the All-Star team, is now taking it out on the American League. The White Sox face Roberto Kelly and the Yankees live on America's Game of the Week, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Back at Michigan International, and we've seen some pit stops now in the last few laps. Here is the leader going on to pit road, Alan Kulwicki. We thought we were 2 or 3 laps away from pit stops, but everybody's come in a few laps earlier than predicted, including Alan Kulwicki. He's pitted way down toward turn number 1. Brings the Hooters forward to a stop, and they go to work on the right side. Many of those only changing 2 tires. How about it with Mark Martin, Jerry?
Bob, looks like they're going to change all 4 tires of the Valvoline Ford. Steve Bill and the crew, they're making chassis adjustments. They have changed the right side tires. They've already taken the left side lug nuts off. So the first of the top 10 cars we've seen go ahead and change all 4 tires. Left side tires going on. They have the gas, get down, and away.
Well, Alan Kulwicki changed 4 also, and he's having trouble getting out of the pits, Jerry. They had to push the Hooters Ford. The pole sitter here in trouble. You can see the car there will not move, won't crank. And now you can't push it back now. He finally gets it fired, but a lot of extra time for Alan Kulwicki. Dale Jarrett has taken the lead now. He has not made a pit stop, but during that last caution, when he got his lap back, he was at the tail of the field, so he came in and topped off with fuel, probably an extra 4 or 5 laps that he would have in his tank.
So Dale Jarrett is the leader right now. Now, while we were in break, this is what happened in terms of the pit stops. Ernie Irvin pulling out, racing Bill Elliott to the line.
Here comes Sterling Marlin behind him.
Ernie just made made it to the line before Bill, giving Ernie the advantage there. But as they went into the corner, trying to build up the momentum, look who went by, Davey Allison and Kyle Petty.
So Davey Allison, as soon as the 18 car pits, Davey Allison should be the leader.
Excepting that Ernie Irvin is under him right now as they come towards the start-finish line. They got a tremendous race going. There they are. Ernie Irvin trying to pass Davey Allison. That would be for, well, Harry Gant is still out there. He's running second. Chad Little is third. So several other cars have...
Yeah, when everybody comes in for the pit stop, as they must within a few laps, this will be the battle up front.
Exactly.
Leading the race right now, but he'll have to pit before too long. There he is in the Interstate Battery Chevy. Here's Irvin, Davey Allison, whose car is up in the gray on the banking. There you can see that Dale Jarrett's pit crew is prepared for the stop.
Yeah, you don't want to stay out there and run too long on those old tires. In fact, he's coming in this time around, Bob, because those other cars are running faster laps with those new tires on.
If he could run far enough to save a pit stop, it might be worth a gamble. But evidently, he couldn't run that far, so he chose to come in.
Exactly right.
65 miles an hour down to Dr. Jerry Punch, who is positioned in Dale Jarrett's pit.
And answering your question, Benny Parsons, the most they could go would be 47 laps, according to Rick Wetzel, who's the engine builder. So what they plan to do right now, according to Jimmy Maycar, is change two right-side tires and put a little bit of wedge in the car to try to tighten it up. They change the right-side tires. We're getting it completely full of fuel. Here's Dale revving the engine. 14 and a half seconds, and he is away.
Meanwhile, those running up front have moved on to turn number 2 now. As Dale gathers up momentum coming out of the pits. Now they're on the backstretch. Ernie Irvin leading Davey Allison, Bill Elliott, Kyle Petty, and Darrell Walter.
This is the farthest that Davey's been in a race car in about a month. I don't know, and that right side window in there, I wonder just how he might be faring physically in there. We know Millie's not in the best of shape, but
he has done a great job today under all of the circumstances, but the injury has had to take a lot out of him physically, and he's, I don't know what effect it's having. He's still running up there very good and racing very hard. So
Kyle Petty trying to take the spot away from Darrell Walter right behind these guys. Kyle on the inside, the mellow yellow Pontiac.
Once again, a reminder that Harry Gant is now the leader of the race, but he will need a stop soon. Chad Little is also out there in second position, but he too will have to give up that spot before too long to make a pit stop. And when that happens, then it'll come back to Irvin, Allison, Elliott, and Walter.
No, Harry Gant, his car gets all the good gas mileage. Might he be able to go to, say, about 50 laps to go? He'd have to run about 5 more laps.
Yep.
And then he could go the rest of the way.
Still a lot of question marks and a lot of pit strategy being thought about at this point as 144 out of 200 laps are completed here at Michigan.
A real sports coupe is more than fancy technology. It's the perfect balance between the needs of a driver and the needs of a curve. With a pure, focused performance that makes even the same old road seem new. Because it's not the road you take, it's how you take the road. The all-new 24-valve Ford Probe GT. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Have you seen who's been on Speed Week? This week, look for a preview of Sunday's IndyCar race from Road America and all the other news in the world of motorsports. Catch Speed Week this Saturday at a special time, 5:30 Eastern. You've got the need for Speed Week.
The Volvo International, a midsummer showdown of the world's greatest shockmakers taking aim at a key U.S. Open tune-up. The Volvo International begins Monday at 1:30 Eastern live on ESPN.
Still leading, not showing any sign of making a pit stop, is Harry Gant in the Skoal Bandit.
He moves around the Eddie Beerswell car.
Still isn't going to come in. That's lap 147.
Rob, I have a report here that he stopped on lap 96. Okay, he's now working the 148th lap, so that means that he has already run 52 laps. If he can go another lap, then he can go the rest of the distance.
How about that? Darrell Waltrip won with gas mileage at Pocono, and maybe he can too.
Don't think he'll win the race, though, if they stays green the rest of the way, even making one less pit stop. I think he's too far behind that his tires would be so hot and old, and the others making pit stops with fresh tires. We'll see how it works out, but that's an opinion.
Well, the other guys, when they make that last stop, is only going to be for one can of gas or a splash if we should go green flag. So, you're right. We just have to wait and see.
That will be shown up front are running in relationship to Gant, who is the leader. Does that make sense?
Here comes Harry in. Here comes Gant in the pits.
On lap 149.
Well, that's the prediction we had, that when he would make his pit stop. So we'll see what they do. Leo Jackson, Andy Petrie, the rest of the Stoll Bandit crew. He'll take on a tank of fuel, and we know they'll at least change slack side tires.
I would think they'd change 4 tires.
Harry is also way down at the far end of pit road toward turn number 1. Almost overshoots the pit area and gets in front of the car over that white line, but he is okay. There go those running up front as the work is going on Gant's car. And yes, indeed, it will be a 4-tire change for Harry.
If he's going to gamble on running 50 laps on
Scott's
tank of gas, he had to change 4 tires. Now he is down in the way. As he leaves, Ernie Irvin is in the middle of the back straightaway. So here again, now he will be able to run as fast as the leaders for a good while with those fresh tires, maybe even faster. But he can never catch them.
So there is the leader of the race now, Ernie Irvin. Second place is Davey Allison. Third, Bill Elliott. And fourth is Darrell Waltrip. Jerry Punch has a report on Davey Allison.
And actually, guys, we'll find out how Davey's feeling. It's the longest he's been in a race car since his injury 4 weeks ago. He's been in the car about 2.5 hours. And Larry, how is Davey feeling physically?
Well, I think he's feeling pretty good. He complained back about halfway, maybe about his ribs bothering him just a little bit. But he hasn't complained about his arm or his wrist. And if he was going to have a complaint, I'm sure he'd tell us about it, because the car's got a push in it that we can't get out, and that makes him have to fight the steering wheel more. So, got 50 to go. We'll just see what happens.
That's Larry McReynolds, the crew chief for Davey Allison.
Jerry, we had a call from Dr. McLaren, who is Davey's doctor down there in Alabama, I guess, and said that he was really proud of the way that Davey has stood up here today.
He tags the information sent to us by saying, let's hope for no more injuries, and we'll second that.
Yes.
Okay, Bill Elliott now going to the inside of Davey in the battle for second spot.
Darrell Waltrip right behind these guys. Second, third, and fourth. Davis second. Elliott third. Darrell Waltrip fourth. Kyle Petty is fifth. Down the bottom of the racetrack, trying to break the draft, trying to get some momentum going to get by Allison. I don't think it's going to work. As a matter of fact, he may lose a spot to Darrell Waltrip.
He just might do it as Darrell follows Davey into the turn in the higher groove. Davey goes a little higher maybe than he wanted to, but you can see that he has the momentum as he comes off the turn.
Kyle Petty catching up. This threesome.
Second position.
It's a good one. It involves 4 cars now.
And it's a great race. And you know the way Elliott's standing down there, it's like he says, look, I'm a little faster than these guys if I can ever get in front of them.
Well, our congratulations to Jenny Doyle of Topeka, Kansas. Today's winner of the beautiful Chevrolet Lumina in the Gillette Halfway Challenge. She correctly named the leader at the halfway point. If you want to enter the contest for the next which is the Bud 500 at Bristol, we must have your entry the day before. Write to us in the Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731-2246. You have to be 18 years of age or older, and we must receive your entry by Friday, the 28th of this month, in order for you to be eligible for the Gillette Halfway Challenge for the Bud 500 at Bristol on Saturday night, 29th. NASCAR Winston Cup Racing has a weekend off next weekend. I guess that means we will too.
Yep, that's true. But we'll be with you in Bristol, Tennessee, the Bud 500.
And always one of the most exciting weekends of the entire year in terms of Winston Cup Racing, with a Grand National race on Friday night and then the Winston Cup race on Saturday night.
Maybe also going by Wally Dallenbach.
Here's another Napa Field summary for you. Bill is trying to mess up all that by taking over third spot, but
Dallenbach running in the 18th position, Bob, so now there are 17 cars on the lead lap.
Elliott takes a spot away from Darrell. I think he's taking it away. He can move up. Is he going to move up? Yeah.
Fishtail a little there coming out of the corner. So Elliott moves to third now. Darrell fourth and Kyle fifth. That's how they're running at the current moment with 156 laps completed. We'll be back with more live coverage in a moment from Michigan International Speedway.
When a muffler goes, some people look for a cheap replacement. They think it costs less. Fact is, they can get a quality Midas muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, a guaranteed economizer muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, installed by experts starting at $24.95. So when somebody says they have a cheaper muffler than Midas, they're right. When they say they're better, fact is, they're wrong. Don't believe anybody ever beats Midas.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
What does a high-speed turn at Daytona have to do with a left turn on Elm Street? At Ford, we race more to learn more about things like safety. Because there's nothing like hugging a wall at 200 miles an hour to learn how to improve crosswind stability. Or racing in a crowd to learn about safer, more responsive handling. And what we learn in this rush hour traffic, you can use in yours. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Leads Davey Allison, Bill Elliott, Darrell Waltrip, and Kyle Petty at the end of 157 laps in the Champion Spark Plug 400 from Michigan International. At 4:30 this afternoon, you can see the finals of the Thriftway ATP Championship. Now, the Men's International Tennis Tournament featuring a purse of $1,400,000. And at 4:30, you will see it here on ESPN. And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, NFL preseason action continues with Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann calling the action of the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills. That's at 8 o'clock tomorrow night here on ESPN. Back at Michigan International, there's the separation between first and second, third, and fourth.
Not much difference in the second, third, and fourth. First place is out by about 15 car lengths. Ernie Irvin.
Ernie drove out there at about that much lead then, and he's not been able to drive away. And look how high his car went in the corner. It looked like his car all of a sudden started pushing up the hill.
Most of these, in fact, all of these cars only took on right side tires. Only a few of them changed all four tires during that pit stop. Martin and Alex Kowicki, but they're way back in the pack now. But I'm sure that they are wishing they had some fresh left side tires on this car. right now is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. He took on 4 tires, and I might have to back up on what I said there a moment ago. If the others don't take on tires when they make their pit stop, I don't know. He might have a shot at this thing if it goes ring the rest of the way, because he will be able to go the rest of the way.
I think he will too, and it's good strategy on Leo Jackson, Andy Friedman, those guys to change 4 tires and get the car as good as they could get it for that last 50 laps. Boy, these cars are so evenly matched. Someone will slip a little bit, the other guy will get alongside and not be able to take the position away or take the position away, and meanwhile they're still running bumper to bumper.
What happened to our pole sitter, Alan Kulwicki? Well, there he is, running with Dale Earnhardt.
And Alan changed all 4 tires, then choked the car down, wouldn't crank. Lost several extra seconds in the pits, so he has really made his job tough.
He just took 13th position from Earnhardt. Alan is 13th and Dale is 14th.
As a matter of fact, Kulwicki has driven away from the pack of leaders, Ernie Irvin and those guys. I think he's a little faster than they are now, but he's never, ever going to catch him. He's certainly not that fast. Here comes the battle for second.
Yes, sir. Elliott is still trying to get that second position by going low on the racetrack. But Davey Allison has the momentum, or at least has had. Elliott just can't make that bottom line work.
Didn't we see that? Oh, now he can move up. He was heading for the top of the racetrack, and Davey was there. Now he moves back in line.
The 2 drivers battling for the Winston Cup points lead at the moment are battling for position on the racetrack, as are Darrell Waltrip and Kyle Petty for 4th.
As Allison has led the race today, hasn't he? He's got his 5 bonus points.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. We thought that he'd be in the lead after all the pit stops, but he got passed before he got to that situation.
Don't believe so.
Kyle Petty's taking that spot away from Darrell Waltrip.
Ernie Irvin leading the champion Spark Plug 400. He comes into this race 11th in the point standing, some 357 behind. A year ago at this time, Ernie Irvin was 3rd in the point standings. In the first 8 races, he didn't have a single top 10 finish. 3 wins and 7 top 5s in the last 10 races, and has moved from 23rd to 11th in the points since the month of May. So with some early trouble in the season, Ernie Irvin is beginning to put his season back together, and we ask him, as we see him come up and put another lap on the King, Richard Petty, we ask Ernie if next year's long-term contract and sponsor support has helped him settle down here in the second half.
Yeah, it does. A lot of things that helped me is just getting more content in my racing. Not in the controversy that we were before, making less mistakes, and just being there and racing and having a better time now. Things are more comfortable as far as personal life and things like that with Kim, and just things are going well for Ernie Irvin and Morgan McClure Racing, so we feel comfortable.
Ernie Irvin sounds like a pretty happy guy, and he should be today because he's leading this race. And although, as we indicated a few laps ago, there has been no one real dominant car, I would have to say that he probably has been as dominant as anybody else.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. Bob, you mentioned as he was passing Richard Petty there a moment ago, that was Petty was in the lead lap up until then. He is currently running in the 16th position, so that leaves 15 cars in the lead lap.
Richard Petty ran 166 laps in the lead lap and was just passed by Ernie Irvin.
There's Kyle Petty down on the inside, still trying to get that low groove to work for him. Trying to get by Bill Elliott. Can't make the pass, has to fall back in behind Bill.
And so with 167 of 200 completed, we'll take another break and be back in a moment at Michigan.
championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Ask them about quality. It's one of the biggest reasons 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are Fords. The F-Series pickup, Taurus, Explorer, Escort, and Ranger. 5 out of 10 of the country's best sellers. It's quality that breeds success. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
It's the Budweiser Pit Stop with Bill Elliott.
Hi, I'm Bill Elliott. There's a big difference between the tires on your car and the ones we use during a race. Tread is important on passenger tires, helping them to dissipate water when it rains. But we don't race in the rain. Our Goodyear Racing Eagles are smooth tires called slicks. Because there's no tread, they cling to the track, giving us better traction. These tires cost about $900 for a set of 4. During a 500-mile race, we may go through about 10 sets or about 40 tires.
30 laps to go in the champion Spark Plug 400 in Michigan. Ernie Irvin is the leader of the race.
There he goes by Eddie Mearswall.
Eddie is 28th on the field, about 7 laps back.
Man, better get your salt and pepper out.
Yep, I might have something to eat here.
Might have something to eat here a little bit.
We're talking about the fact that Ned said a few laps ago that he didn't think that Harry Gant would win the race if it stayed green the rest of the way. You think you might want to back that back up?
I think I'm going to have to eat through. I think it will win the race if it stays green. Everybody else is going to have to stop it. He's sitting there now about 18 seconds behind the leaders and running a little bit faster than they are with those 4 new tires, and they can't get in and out the pits in 18 seconds.
I don't think they can either. I think it's going to take 18 seconds to get down pit road. And they got to stop, get a little bit of gas. They got to slow down. So I think Harry's looking pretty good.
He really is, if there's no other caution. So my apologies to Harry and the Leo Jackson crew for even thinking such a thing.
Let's see, where is Harry?
He'll be coming here directly.
Let's see,
there's Dale.
Schrader.
There he is. All right.
So he's going in turn 3, and Ernie Irvin is going in turn 1 right now.
And is 9th at the moment, but everybody running in front of him is going to have a splash of fuel if we go green the rest of the way. And we don't believe that Gant will have to because he ran 50 laps. And that's when he came in with 50 to go.
He ran 52 laps and he stopped at 51 to go or something.
That's right.
So this thing isn't over by any means. Although,
wow. And Ernie's getting higher and higher up turn 3 and 4.
It's way up in the gray. Well, here's a new feature on our ESPN NASCAR Winston Cup telecast. The driver's snapshot showing you that he started, Ernie Irvin, in 5th. Currently is running 1st. Position in the race, of course, has been 1st, lap 167. His lowest was on lap number 66 when he was 18th, and he has so far led 25 circuits.
I think that's interesting. You would have the Kodak car in their first snapshot, don't you?
That kind of works out, doesn't it? Davey Allison making a pit stop.
Well, we'll see. Does he just take on fuel, or do they change the right side tires?
With 26 laps to go, I think he'll change tires.
I think he will, too. Now, I said right side. They changed right the last time, Jerry. Will they change 4, or left side, or right side, or none?
Well, good guess, Dan. Let's watch and see what they do. Looks like they are going to change at least 2 tires, and probably only 2 tires. Right side tires going on, and we'll get it full of fuel. They're looking at the left side tires. Under the green flag, he's off and away.
Okay, so that's his strategy. Stop as early as he can. Get those right sides on.
Pick up that speed with new tires on for, if you can do that for 5 or 6 laps, you might be able to pick up 5 or 6 seconds.
Exactly.
speed lap. Even if the caution should come out now, it wouldn't really hurt him that bad.
Except Harry Gant is now about a half a lap in front of David. You're right, the caution flag didn't hurt David. If it goes green, Gant's about a half lap in front of him. So Harry's going to end up at least a quarter of a lap ahead of all these cars that make pit stops. And meanwhile, Bill Elliott's about to catch Ernie Irvin.
Ernie Irvin has never won a race at Michigan. Here comes Kyle Petty in for a stop.
Same deal. They want to get those fresh tires on to give the driver all the time to use them up.
And running down ahead of Kyle is Dale Earnhardt. Let's go down to Jerry Punch once again for Kyle's stop.
Well, Benny Parsons, you're exactly right. Robin Pemberton has made the call. They saw Davey Allison come in early and get fresh right side tires. That's exactly what last week's winner here is going to do to the mellow yellow Pontiac. Right side tires. Robin Pemberton finishes the right front, right rear, backs down, and Kyle lights it up, headed down pit road.
Less than 11-second pit stop. Kyle Petty.
Dale Earnhardt also made a pit stop while Kyle was in the pits. Dale was not far from going a lap down out on the racetrack.
There's Irvin and Bill Elliott. We understand that Ernie Irvin is going to pit in 3 more laps. We'll see if that holds true. Right now, he's leading this race, and we'll be right back.
High Bank Super Speed excitement is coming to the Monster Mile at Dover Downs. On September 20th, it's the Peak Antifreeze 500 with all the Winston Cup greats: Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, Daytona 500 winner Davey Allison, Richard Petty in his final driving season, and dozens more. Plus Busch Grand National action in the Spitfire Spark Plug 200 on Saturday, September 19th. Make your next move to the Monster Mile. Dover Downs International Speedway, Dover, Delaware. For tickets, call 1-800-441-RACE.
No matter what kind of used sports equipment you have, Play It Again Sports will pay you money for it. If your kids have grown or if you've changed sports, bring your old equipment in. We'll buy it and put it back in the game. Isn't it amazing how fast kids outgrow their hockey equipment? At Play It Again Sports, we'll buy that old equipment and sell you something in a better size. Play It Again Sports.
Now you can own the best of Sports Center on home video, featuring superstars, amazing plays, wacky bloopers. Now on home video.
Ernie Irvin continues to lead the champion Spark Plug 400 at Michigan International Speedway with 21 laps to go. Hut Strickland's coming in awfully slow. I bet maybe he ran out of gas, huh?
Looks that way because he is slow and no smoke coming out from the car. Richard Petty's in. He stalled the car, or the car ran out of gas. He probably ran out of gas, and they're trying to get the car going. Now it fires his way.
Richard Petty was 15th when he came in.
Here comes Ernie.
The leader is Petty. Bill Elliott stayed out, so he's the leader, but here comes Ernie Irvin.
I don't think there are plenty tires on this car.
They're not out there.
There's no one out with tires. I just think they're going to put a gas in the Kodak Film Chevrolet.
Let's see. No, they're definitely not going to put any new tires on. It's just going to be enough gas to finish the race. 20 laps to go. Smart idea?
I don't know. We'll see, because Davey Allison, Kyle Petty, we'll see where they stack up.
Jerry, why the decision to just go with the fuel?
They felt that was their only chance of beating that old man, they call him, Harry Gant. Said, if we don't just take fuel only, Harry will win this race, so this is our only shot. As Bill Elliott makes his way down pit road, headed toward John Kernan. John?
Jerry, likewise for Bill Elliott, the crew. Tim Brewer looked and checked Davey Allison's speed after he changed those 2 tires. There wasn't going to be enough of a difference, so we're looking at probably 3.5, 4 seconds in here. It's one tank. They only need about 8.5, 9 gallons of gas. Elliott gunning the engine. Now they say, yes, let's go. Bill Elliott is away. 7 seconds.
And his teammate, Sterling Marlin, came in just while he was getting the fuel, and Sterling now pulls back out.
Will they let an air out of the right rear tire on Bill Elliott's car?
Could have been. Could have been. That would help the handling of the car, especially with these radial tires. Mark Martin comes down pit road.
Now there's the leader of the race, Darrell Waltrip.
Well, fellas, Harry Gant went by Ernie Irvin when he was in the pit, so if the strategy was to try to beat Harry Gant, he had 4 tires. There's a little adjustment on his car, but Harry Gant changed 4 tires on his car when he made his last pit stop, so he's in better shape tire-wise than everybody else, really.
Mark Martin takes the Valvoline Ford out of the pit area. Looks like Bobby Hillen may be out of gas, too. He's coming. Team Ireland car sliding to a stop, and now Alan Kulwicki comes off the banking and heads down pit road as he gives up his 11th position for a pit stop.
The only chance he has is just put some fuel in the car, just to splash and get back out, just enough. Jerry Punch?
And that's what they're going to do, Benny, to put a little bit of fuel in the car and hope that possibly the pole sitter may have some chance to get a top 5 finish. Quickie is gone.
Gentlemen, they have 34 more miles to go. That's a third of a tank of gas or a little more, so they've got to get about 7 gallons in the car to be able to make it to the end. Morgan Shepherd coming down pit road, and the Citgo board.
Morgan was 5th. Our in-car camera with Morgan as they go for fuel only.
They're telling when to go. That's the signal. They're not using the radio because the radio might malfunction. You're getting up in front of the fender where Morgan can see him, and they're giving the signal to go.
Brett Bodine, who had moved up to 2nd, coming in for his pit stop, and Jerry Punch is there.
And we'll see what our Western Auto mechanic of the race, Donnie Richardson, has called for Brett Bodine. Looks like fuel only. Bodine brings the car to a halt. They have 1 can of fuel going in, puts it back in gear. 3 seconds he sat here, and he's gone.
Wow, you wonder if he got enough fuel in that car.
Brett is still looking for his first top 5 finish of the year.
Bobby
6th has
Hamilton.
been his best at Darlington. There's Waltrip. He's still leading.
Bobby Hamilton, Rusty Wallace, Wally Dallenbach, all in the pits.
And Darrell, he can't go the rest of the way.
No, I don't think so. Then he had, we had thought that a little bit earlier, but about a lap after that, he came into the pits. He had like 55 laps to go, I believe.
He stopped on 137, so we had 63 laps to go. There ain't no way.
They're just hoping for a caution right now.
Yeah.
Coming up on the 23rd place car of Terry Labonte, number 94.
And Darrell coming in.
John Kernan will call this stop by Darrell Waltrip as he enters pit road on lap number 186. John?
The crew's awaiting the arrival of Darrell Waltrip. We told you 65 miles an hour down pit road. Darrell comes in a little bit hot. They're going to need, they told me, about 3.5, 4 seconds to get enough fuel in. They say go, go, go. Darrell is away. Harry Gant now crosses the start and finish line and down to Dale Jarrett's pit as he goes down pit road to Dr. Jerry Punch. And Jimmy Maycar will bring the crew across the wall. In fact, they will just put a little bit of gas in the car, left side of the car, no tire change for the Interstate Battery crew. And the car that came from 1 lap down, Dale Jarrett, is now away. He was being shown in the 2nd place car, about 3.5 seconds in the pits, and he heads back to turn 1.
So now is Gant the leader?
He is now.
Yep, he is indeed.
Now the question mark, can he make it the rest of the way?
That's the only thing that'll keep him from winning.
14 laps to go. 186 completed. The average speed of the race to this point is 141.156 miles an hour.
For age-old problems like these, Goodyear introduces a brand new solution like this. Goodyear Wrangler GSA. Goodyear Wrangler GSA has a unique triple tread zone that gives you breakthrough all service, all season traction. Mile after mile, year after year. So if you own one of these, you need these. Goodyear Wrangler GSA. Then you'll know why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
At Ford, when we test technology, we go by the book. This book. It takes us places that make our Ford trucks even tougher and make our performance for the street even better. Because the more we race, the more we learn. And no one races in more places than Ford. We test our ideas all over the world to make driving better for you at home. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Big hitters and big numbers are the ones to watch in a tournament where the highest score wins. See who comes out on top at the International, live from Colorado, Thursday and Friday on ESPN. NFL players know there's rough. And then there's rough. NFL pros join senior PGA pros in the NFL Golf Classic Saturday on ESPN.
It's never this tough on the football field.
In just 11 more laps, we'll know who wins the 19th race of the NASCAR Winston Cup season, the Champion Spark Plug 400 at Michigan International Speedway near Brooklyn. Our Speed World coverage on this event is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Harry Gant is the leader of this event with 10 laps to go. Darrell Waltrip is second, and third is Bill Elliott. And Jerry Punch is in Harry's pit.
We're standing beside Andy Petrie, and Andy, this has to be somewhat poetic justice after what happened to you in Atlanta where you lost one on fuel mileage.
Yeah, this ain't over. While we're talking, the caution come out. These things can go either way. We're sitting in a pretty good spot right now, but, I'd like to talk to you after the race.
No concern at all about fuel, though. You can make it the rest of the way.
I feel pretty good about it, but like I say, you just never know. I felt good about it at Pocono, down a little short there. I think it'll be good.
That's Andy Petrie, cautiously optimistic that Harry Gant will pick up win #2 here in 1992.
Yeah, he was a winner at the Dover race earlier this year, and is fourth in the point standings, only 140 points behind Bill Elliott, so this will help his drive toward the 1992 NASCAR Winston Cup.
He has about a little over a 9-second lead right now. He's lost about a half a second since everybody made their pit stops to Darrell Waltrip, but Darrell doesn't have enough time, gaining a half a second a lap to catch him.
And will try to enter his name into the winners at Michigan category. He has never won here at Michigan. His best finish was a second back in 1981.
Looking for the 17 car, who's currently running second. There he is. Bill Elliott, the red car, right behind him.
Darrell beginning to pull away a little bit from Elliott now. He has closed the gap to 8 and 6/10 seconds, but
there are less than 8 laps to go. Harry Gant, can you believe this? I wouldn't have considered him one of the favorites going into this race, but hey, qualifying and pre-race determination, not necessarily the factor here this afternoon.
Harry Gant started 24th, and the farthest that anyone has ever started Michigan back in the field was Dale Jarrett last year. He started 11th. That's the farthest anyone has ever started back and won the race. Today, Harry Gant starts 24th, and if he can hang on for about another 6 laps,
he's going to blow that record away.
I'm telling you. Here's Davey Allison has called Ernie Irving, trying to take that spot away. That'd be 5 extra points if he can do it.
That would be for 4th position. Irvin is 4th, Davey 5th.
Ernie's car, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, he just lost the handle back about 15, 20 laps ago. Car going very, very high. Remember early in the race, Bob, we saw him on the bottom of the racetrack doing well. Now the car way up high on the racetrack.
You see Bubba Hamilton's car. It sounds a little sick when he comes by the start-finish line here. He might have lost a cylinder.
Hamilton was involved in the very first crash of the day, but he has battled back and now is running in 15th position. Leader is Gant, coming up on Hut Strickland.
Hut just passed Harry Gant, the leader of the race. Hut said, why couldn't I be in the lead lap?
Harry might be conserving fuel right now.
Hut is 24th in the serial scoring. Once again, showing you the interval between first and second. There is Waltrip. So if Waltrip continues to run there, he will have second place finishes in both of the events here at Michigan in 1992.
That's 7 and 4/10 seconds.
I was giving credit earlier to the different makes. I've talked about a Ford, Chevrolet, and Pontiac. Well, folks, that Oldsmobile is now leading the race.
Oldsmobile, of course, third in the point standings for the manufacturers. Ford is on top with 11 wins and 132 points, and Chevy has 5 wins and 107 points. Oldsmobile with 1 win, and that was Gantz at Dover with 83. And we've had one Pontiac win this year. That, of course, was just last weekend at Watkins Glen. And in terms of driver points, well, Bill Elliott is running third. He's the points leader.
Oh, Ernie and Davey got together coming off turn 4. And Davey trying to take that spot away. There he goes.
Yeah, every position he can move up is just that many more points.
It looked like last year coming off turn 4 between Dale Jarrett and Davey Allison.
Harry Gant will complete 197 this time by. As we watch this 4th and 5th place situation between Urban and Allison.
This is how it was set up the last time. They came off the corner. Davey let his car come up, and they go up and they touch. Now, they do it this time. Trust me, they didn't.
They scared me to death.
I believe it.
They are running pretty close out there.
They are. Bill Elliott has caught Darrell Waltrip again. Davey looks like the back end got a little bit loose, but he hung in there and look at it. Get some traction coming off the turn. Almost touched him.
He desperately needs those bonus points. Those 5 extra points, I should say, if we can get by Irvin. Here they go. Yep. If that was the end, it would be Davey, I think. But it wasn't the end. They still got 2 more laps to go. 2 more laps.
Elliott is running in third. There he is. And in fact, would like to take over second from Darrell Waltrip.
He's thinking about it, isn't he?
Yep.
I think the thought crossed his mind. I think I'll pass Darrell for second.
Well, Ned, you got the salt and pepper ready, huh?
Yeah, I got it ready. I'll eat the crow. Yeah.
Here's lap 198. No, 99. There's the white flag. The white flag is out, and Harry Gant has 1 more lap to go to victory. An unbelievable situation as we watch that battle there for second. Now we focus our attention on the leader, Harry Gant, and it appears as if Harry is going to win his second race of 1992.
Brett Ledine has run out of gas as he went by and got the white flag. I said when he made his pit stop, it was a 3-second pit stop. I said, I don't know if they got enough gas in that thing. Now, does that give me a little bit back for making that other big mistake?
Yes. Harry Gant on the top of the racetrack in turn number 4, coming down off the banking. He sees the checkered flag from Doyle Ford waiting, and there it is. Gant wins with excellent fuel mileage. Now back to second and third. It's Waltrip crossing the stripe. Bill Elliott is third. Here comes 4th place Ernie Irvin, and 5th goes to Davey Allison.
6th was Kyle Petty.
7th will be Sterling Marlin.
Well, our congratulations to the old man, Harry Gant, who played it smart, and it worked out for him. Fuel mileage stretched to the nth degree, enough to carry Gant to victory in the Champion Spark Plug 400. We'll be right back.
If I thought that no one cared about the things I do in life and making it turn out right, made in America, that means a lot to me. American quality. Here's to you, America.
Budweiser, we still are stronger today than ever.
Here's to you, America. My best I give to you.
Nothing beats the quality of the American spirit.
Today, performance cars come in a variety of designs, sizes, and even prices. So do Goodyear Eagles, the world's most successful line of performance tires. There are all-season Goodyear Eagles, new ultra-performance Goodyear Eagles. There are Goodyear Eagles for the classic and for the contemporary. No matter what performance car you own, there's a Goodyear Eagle priced for you. It's another reason we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
The
Demonstrate the incredibly realistic color of Kodak Gold Plus film. Just open the box. No other print film captures a wider spectrum of colors at any speed. Kodak Gold Plus film. True colors. More colors.
It's victory lane time here at Michigan International Speedway in the Champion Spark Plug 400. Our Kodak Gold Winner Circle interview. Here's Dr. Punch.
And Harry Gant climbs out of the car. Congratulated by Andy Petrie, crew chief. Harry, congratulations. 24th to 1st. It hasn't never been done here at Michigan, but you did it today.
Well, you know, the car really ran good today. We kept coming in early and making adjustments, and we knew it wasn't going to really hurt us a lot because there's a lot of cars we could beat, and so we finally get to Chester in real good shape. And the last time we pitted, Andy says, go a little fun. I said, man, everything's adjusted in good now. He said, but go 6 more laps. Go all the way to the fuel pressure drops, and we could make it. So that's what I did. And the last set of tires was the super best set I had all day. So I never really had to run. You know, he kept saying save fuel, and he kept calling out the sequence to everybody else. And
fluttered on that final lap.
Yeah, the fuel pressure dropped, and I got behind the Schrader, and it picked back up. When I got in the corner, then the car picked up down the backstretch, started cutting off again, and I managed to get behind Kenny again, and coming in the third turn, it almost quit there, and coming off the corner, it would pick it up, though, and I was able to draft him down. But we had a pretty good lead. I like to say hello to Peggy and all my family, you know, and back there watching on TV today, grandson, John Derrick, and Allie, my granddaughter.
Harry, you're not out of the points picture. Talked about Allison and possibly Bill Elliott or Alan Kwiecki. You're 4th in the points, and this is your time of the year.
Well, we'd like to, just keep running here and picking it up and win some races here in September and more for the end. We got to win the championship. We have to pick up more points, and we're trying to.
As fresh as he looks, can you believe it, folks? He's 52 years old. He looks like he's 32. Harry Gant at victory lane at Michigan.
Very intelligent race by Harry Gant, and congratulations to him and the pit crew who worked out the strategy. Here are the unofficial results now of this race, with Elliott 3rd, Irvin 4th, and Davey Allison 5th. 6 through 10, Petty, Marlin, Dale Jarrett with a good run, Mark Martin, and Morgan Shepherd.
You think Harry was lying to us about running out of gas, Ned?
I don't make it sound good, though. Very dramatic.
He told him with the straightest face in the world.
Harry wouldn't tell a lie. No, sir. He's too straight and honest.
Yeah. Earnhardt finishes 16th after starting at the back of the pack in 41st. King Richard Petty with an 18th place finish here at Michigan.
Rusty Wallace all the way back in 21st. Musgrave 25th. Musgrave had a great run here in June.
Sure did. Led the race for a while.
31st through 35th now. McClure, Marcus, Cope, Lake Speed with the fire. Stanley Smith finishing in 35th. Then Ricky Rudd, who had a crash. Stan Fox crashed. And Jeff Bodine was involved in the early crash along with Greg Sachs. They finish in 40th and 41st. Now, let's talk about the points for a moment here. In terms of Elliott and Allison, it's 27.96 to 27.59. Gant now goes to 3rd in the point standings. Alan Kwiecki from 3rd to 4th. Mark Martin staying in 5th place in the quest for the Cup standings.
Yeah, Kwiecki really got hurt today. We're getting to the point of the season that you need to start going forward, and Kwiecki went backwards.
Well, coming up at 4:30 this afternoon, tennis here on ESPN Ohio at 4:30 this afternoon, less than an hour from now. In terms of NASCAR Winston Cup racing, we take the weekend off next week. Football coming up, I would like to remind you, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time as the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills go at it. We'll take the weekend off next weekend. NASCAR Winston Cup has the weekend off. We will be at Bristol International Raceway on Saturday night, August 29th, for the Bud 500, where the defending champion is Alan Kwiecki. Our congratulations to Harry Gant, who used fuel mileage to win the Champion Spark Plug 400. A field of high-power